Now each of the segments is rather short. You know, we're not really giving them due time. We're not doing justice to them, but we've got so much to share with you this afternoon that you know, we just have to compress it as best as we can. Just a little more about TBN. We also run a Sept program. That's a Social Enterprise Training Hub, and this is where we help and entrepreneurs with their businesses, either in way of you know, teaching them about, you know, business strategy, teaching about finance, teaching them you know, about business development. We also try to find technical solutions if they need. So it's really a well-run program by TBN Asia, and we'd encourage entrepreneurs or investors or you know, supporters for the cause to, you know, step forward to volunteer your services, your time, your efforts. There's an opportunity for you to find investments there for yourself. And you can contact us, you know, through the various channels that we posted in the chat. Again, the TBN links are in the chat, so please look through that chat and you know, take some time to explore what TBN is all about, if in case you don't know. TBN was set up just a bit of history in 2016. So, you know, we've been running conferences around Southeast Asia and Singapore and Malaysia and Indonesia. And of course, these past two, including this one, are now online due to the pandemic. I hope everybody's staying safe and well. But yeah, this is a great way for us to connect. All right, I think we've got about 3 minutes before we start the first session. Yeah, let me just you know, talk a little bit about what I do, since we've got a little gap. Sorry to impose on you, but what I have is a social enterprise in Malaysia, as I said, doing low-cost housing using the kanaf plant fiber. So it's a totally renewable product. We can harvest the kanaf in 4 months and start building with it. So you can look me up in the Affordable Abodes website. I'll post it in the chat later as well. Love to engage more people in that area of affordable housing. Yeah. Okay. I think we've got a good number of people. We could probably think about starting soon. Yeah. So first up, we have Cetera. Led by Ika. Ika is the founder of Cetera, and they have some really interesting, cost-effective solutions to help farmers improve their crop yields. Ika, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, Ika. Yeah, thanks for joining us this afternoon. It's so good to have you. Yeah, please tell us more about these tech solutions for the farmers that you have there.
Okay.
Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your introduction. I'm gonna start my presentation right now. Okay, thank you, LJ. So hello everyone, my name is Mustika Wijaya, co-founder of Setara, which means equality in Indonesian. During my senior year as an electrical engineering at University of Illinois, I founded a nonprofit organization called Solar Chapter, which focused on building solar-powered pump system for rural areas. From there, I believe that electricity can light people's lives and inspire me to start this social enterprise and this journey. In fact, in Indonesia, 46% people living under poverty rely on agriculture as their main source of income. Crop losses is one of the farmers' concern. That's why we want to help farmers in Indonesia by distributing solar-powered productivity tools. Next. We believe that poverty should not be passed down from generation to generation, and we need a sustainable solution. Next. So our first product is a solar light trap. As you can see to the right, all the pictures and the farmers using it. We've been doing pilot projects in several locations in Indonesia. So here's what we hear from the farmers. It reduced the pesticide costs by at least 50% on shallots. As a matter of fact, pesticide cost covers 1/3 of the total cost in Indonesia. And then also insects building immunity towards the pesticide. So this light trap is effective and can reduce farmers' dependency on pesticides. And also it can reduce the probability of failed crops. And farmers know it is eco-friendly, it is not harmful for the soil, which is better for the next crops. Next. So this is the specification of our product. It's automatic on-off system. It's an easy plug and play install. It's cover 1/4 to 1/2 of the hectares. Next. And one of our pilot project, meet Kang Mamat. So Kang Mamat is a smallholder farmers in Soreang. Every year, he spends 1/3 of the total expenditure on pesticides, and it keeps increasing, like I said previously. Unfortunately, the pest attack is still unavoidable. As a result, he lost 50% of his shallot crops last year. Therefore, he needs to take loan with a very high interest for the next cycle of the investment. So this creates a poverty cycle in Kang Mamat family. After using our light trap for 3 months, he can save 80% of his pesticide costs. Additionally, he also noticed that his crops are healthier and greener. We noticed that even just one season of using our light trap, Kang Mamat already get back his light trap investment due to the reduction of his pesticide costs. So by the end of the pilot project, he just bought the light trap for his next cycles. Next. So light trap is the low cost entry for the farmers for Setara. We have a bigger dreams for farmers in Indonesia. We are looking for to aggregate the market. We are exploring knowledge sharing platform, solar powered pump system, and sensors monitoring. So we wanna increase farmers' yield, farmers' income, increase their literacy, and also making them more climate resilient. We are looking for people to distribute this product to the market. Next. And then these are our team. We are mostly from University of Illinois and Berkeley. We have several experience in rural areas based on our nonprofit organization before. Next. And we're looking for people to help us bring the product to the market and see smiles from these hardworking farmers, starting from Kang Mamat last year. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Yika. That was very, very interesting. Yeah, glad to see you. You've come up with such fantastic solutions for us. Now, if there's any questions from the audience, please share them in the chat. We'll be happy to help post them, and perhaps Ika can answer them. Ika, how I'm curious. I've got the first question for you. I'm just very curious to know how you came about with this technology. It's so interesting, right?
Yeah.
How did you come up with it? Yeah.
So as I mentioned before, I started a nonprofit organization where we implemented solar-powered pump system to give access for water in rural areas, right? And then I'm also passionate about solar-powered energy. I worked for a US company for 3 years, and I realized that this solar powered actually can help rural areas more than, anywhere in United States. So that's why I went home for good in Indonesia, and focusing on my nonprofit and also the social enterprise to bring productivity tools for farmers. Yes.
Yeah. And is your background in technology?
Yeah. In electrical engineering.
Right. Fantastic. I've got another question here from Sharon Lim. Thanks for the question, Sharon. Where is the product made? What's the challenge to adoption by your POC farmers?
So I think the first question, the product made by ourselves. So we actually assembly our product by ourselves in Indonesia. And what is the challenge to adoption by your POC farmers? So the challenge is actually the distribution channel that we are lacking here in Indonesia, because it's really expensive to build connection with the farmers and make them trust us. I think that's probably the hardest part in distributing, to build trust from the farmers, because this is like a new product. This is a solar powered light trap, right? They must have like trust issue with this new technology. So I think our strategy is to work with agriculture companies that already have connection with the farmers, and then distribute this light trap. I think it will be easier for farmers to understand this product.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. I'm interested to use it too. I plant kanaf.
Oh, okay.
So, it's so important to know what's going on in the ground, right? With the water and the light and the fertilizers and everything, and it's all invisible to the farmer typically, right? We can't see it or smell it, or what's going on into our plants, and plants don't talk. They don't tell us they're sick. Right.
So you bring up also the good point, because our product can be also used for monitoring system, right? Like you said, plant cannot talk, but we need to monitor this, right? So we know that, okay, this season there is like a lot of these types of pest attacks, right? So farmers can use that knowledge to use the specific pesticide to attack those type of pests. So I think it's really great for monitoring too.
Right. Yeah. So Sharon again is asking, is it hard to install? Is it difficult to install? And the second question is, what's the trust issue?
So is it hard to install? No, because it's already come in a box and we just shipped it. And then what farmers do is actually like just building the stand and put it on the on their soil. But the trust issue is actually, like this is new. Nobody ever done the using light trap before. So farmers like, is it gonna work? So can I try like 3 months? Can I try 4 months? Something like that. That's the trust issue. And then they also think like, oh, if our product is sustainable, you know, for 3 years, as I mentioned, something like that. I think
yeah,
the branding for the farmers is really important, knowing that probably, you know, they don't have that enough knowledge about solar power too.
sure. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ika. I'm sorry we ran out of time. Please put your contact in the chat. I'm sure there's people who would like to connect with you. Yeah. We've got to move on to the next one. I'm sorry, Mr. Peng Hin. I see your question there. Maybe Ika can address your question in the chat. We'll move on to the next speaker, Lillian. Lillian, you're there? Hi, Lillian.
Hi, Tim.
Lillian is based in Sabah, I believe, right? And you run an organization called Langit, and Langit has got some really innovative technology in rice farming, and you're producing, I would say, superior quality products for the consumers, right? So please, Lillian, do enlighten us about this technology. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Tim. Hi, my name is Lillian. I'm from Malaysia. Actually, I'm based in Peninsula here, but we work specifically with the indigenous farmers in Sabah and Sarawak. And I'm the co-founder of Langit Collective. And before I start this presentation, I would like to thank our sponsor for giving us the opportunity to speak today. Next. So this is my host mother, Mama Juliana. She's 48 years old and a mother of 6. She's also a subsistence farmer growing high quality indigenous crops such as alum rice, job steers, and foxtail millet on her 10 acres land. So for her own consumption aside, she also sells them as a source of income. However, market access has never been easy for Juliana. Next. Challenging roads, unequal price-profit gap with the middleman, and lack of supply chain infrastructure, Juliana struggles to earn a decent income for her family. In fact, many rural farmers in East Malaysia share very similar struggles as Juliana. And as a result, they started adopting modern agriculture that focuses on intense cash crop production. Next. As we all know, intense monocropping is a short fix and is unsustainable. And hence, Langit Collective was set up to create solutions for our rural farmers like Mama Juliana. We started by tackling the value chain system, where we procure from farmers at fair price and build a distribution network to link their products to the market. In 2020, we began to provide training services to farmers aimed to restore their degraded land using regenerative farming principles. So this completes the loop of our circular business model, where farmers will continuously be incentivized to produce food sustainably as a result of increased market demand. Next. Currently, 97% of our work focuses on being a marketplace and a distributor. So we brand and market our farmers' products under Langit brand to B2B clients as well as B2C clients. We recently also ventured into providing training as a service for our food forest system program, which I'll further elaborate in the training segment later. Next. Our products are packaged and branded as premium products, specifically targeting the more affluent consumers in West Malaysia and where the majority of market demand and spending power are located. Next. We are currently retailing at over 50 stores across Peninsular Malaysia, as well as through our own e-commerce platform. Our partner also includes some of the prominent hotels and restaurants in Malaysia, as well as government agencies and corporate companies. Next. So for our unique food forest training, it's a unique system that allows communities to learn to grow diverse edible plants in a small area, basically by mimicking the formation of a forest. This low-cost, low-maintenance training aims to help communities to be food secure and create continuous income throughout the year. We offer our training services to NGOs, to corporates, and government agencies to train their beneficiaries. Next. Now, let me share with you some of the impacts that we've made so far. Through our value chain development, we have generated an additional income of over $100,000 for 70 farmers by linking their produce to the market. Next. Our training has also benefited 42 indigenous families who were affected by the lockdown last year. They are now able to harvest 6 times more vegetable varieties from their own garden, and 90% of them actually plan to further expand their farms for extra income. Next. We are a founding team of 4, and we 2 of our co-founders actually have real-time experience in regenerative farming themselves. We are able to identify gaps and create targeted solutions and opportunity. Next. So we are currently looking for Malaysian-based partners to work with us on product development to create more added value products for our farmers. And as we are also working towards overseas market expansion, we would also like to connect with business development advisor who could actually mentor us on export market. We are also looking for corporate companies and institutions that are interested in creating a very different CSR program to be our food forest program partners. So if you're a food manufacturer or business development advisors or corporates who are interested in creating a better food supply chain for rural farmers, please get in touch with me. And I'm Lillian from Langit Collective. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lillian. Great presentation. Can we go back to that last slide, please? Sorry, LG. Sorry to trouble you. Yeah, back to the food forest partners. That's really interesting. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that, please, Lillian?
Sure. So basically, food forests came about throughout the years. We collected data working with different communities who are subsistence farmers. So the way they plant is very synchronized and very cohesive with the nature. And that kind of information, we actually compile it into a system, a program that we can duplicate in different communities. So the opportunity came about last year when an organization who is based in Peninsula, who are working with indigenous communities here, approached us to ask us about how can we help the local indigenous communities here. So to give you a context, local indigenous communities in Peninsula are not farmers to begin with. They are more of hunters and gatherers. But because of recently, COVID issues, where they cannot travel to the town to purchase food, or because their environment is also affected through loggings and whatnot, they are having issues with their own food security. So we thought it was actually a very good time to bring this program to train these communities as a pilot. So last year we worked with that few communities to pilot a food forest project, which is very simple. What we do is also use back what they have. So the local communities also have their own seeds in terms of different crops like cucumbers, local indigenous cucumbers, indigenous vegetables. So we reuse back those and plant it in a small area, basically having a system that combines different varieties of vegetables, fruits, and also cover crops. So that will actually help them to increase their soil health. And with that, eventually you will be able to increase your yield and more biodiversity around your small plot of land.
Right. Oh, fabulous. I love it. Yeah, I think you and Ika should get together and
yes.
work on a few projects together. I think you guys have a lot of synergy there. Yeah, we'd love to see that happen. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat, and we'll be happy to post them. Yeah. So Lillian, you're based in Sabah, is that right? Is that correct?
I'm actually based in KL, but my co-founder is based in Sarawak with the paddy farming community.
Sorry. In Sarawak. Yeah. Okay. Are you looking to do this in other parts of Malaysia as well?
As a person or as an entity that can create market development for rural farmers, yes, we are looking at working with different communities. Why we are with these particular paddy farming communities is because we want to have an established module and SOPs that we can actually bring over to other communities and use it even more effectively. So this is like our model project that has all the infrastructures ready, and we are ready to expand. We can go to different communities.
Great, fantastic. So I'm asking that because James Lowe has posted a question about that. He's looking to do this in Sabah. So maybe you guys can connect.
Yes,
Lillian,
yes.
please, put your contact in the chat, and yeah, we people can follow up with you more there. All right, thanks so much, Lillian from Langit. Let's move on to our third speaker for today. We have Geraldine Layowen from the Philippines, and she's representing Straw Innovations. Geraldine's the business development manager for Straw Innovations, and they have some really interesting technology to help paddy farmers convert their waste into money. So Geraldine, please tell us more.
Good afternoon. I am Geraldine Layawen from Philippines. On behalf of Straw Innovations, I would like to acknowledge our sponsor, Act Explorer Melvin Mack and Stephen Lee, for giving us the opportunity to showcase our company in this event. Climate change is a global issue that all of us have been experiencing for the past years, and has been intensified recently with several incidences of flooding all over the world. There are different contributors of pollution resulting to climate change. This includes the greenhouse gas emissions from transportation, manufacturing, fugitive emissions from energy production, and even from agriculture. In agriculture, that includes rice cultivation, which accounts for 12% of total methane global emission. Currently, rice is the highest contributor of greenhouse gases, which starts from land preparation up to post-harvest. Straw Innovations is situated in the Philippines, which is a spin-out from the research and development at the International Rice Research Institute, and was founded by Mr. Craig Jamieson, our director. We are currently being granted with UK aid for this project, which is already at the mid stage and soon be ready for commercialization. In this country, rice is a staple food, the same as its other neighboring Asian countries. Philippines alone can produce 11.3 million tons per year of rice straw, whereas Asia as a whole can produce as much as 330 to 470 million tons per year. Rice straw in the Philippines has not been effectively being collected nor used productively. Next, please. Currently, farmers are left with only two options. It's either to burn it, which is the easiest and cheapest way to do, but the most dangerous option for human health, safety, and the environment. There has been an act here in the country prohibiting farmers in burning the rice straw. And the other option is to incorporate it again in the rice field, which will cause more release of methane gas and cause delay in the land preparation of the farmers, which can only limit it to only 2 seasons. Next, please. Straw Innovations has been developing a solution, a promising alternative. We will remove straw from the farm with the use of our modified combine harvester. We will be harvesting the grains and at the same time collect the dry straw, leaving behind a very low stubble, which enable the field ready for land preparation. Here's a comparison of our combine harvester with the conventional one. You will notice that the stubble left in the field using Straw Innovations harvester is significantly shorter than the conventional ones. By doing this, we can potentially increase the cropping times from 2 to 3 times each year, which could increase the farmer's income. After harvesting, the collected straw will then be fed in our digester to capture the methane and will be used for drying the rice grain. Drying is the most critical part of post-harvest operation, as this will determine the quality of rice grain that will be produced and sold to the end market. The quality of dried palay significantly affects its shelf life and storage. The primary customer of our services are the farmers, and we are currently looking into having a partnership with a big rice miller who would like to have a sustainable rice production. This is Aling Maria, a farmer who was able to try our harvesting service last season, and she compared it to the conventional ones they have been used to. She was very satisfied with the service rendered to her, leaving no rice straw at her farm. Straw Innovations has been continuously developing sustainable rice straw collection and processing system, which is a technological breakthrough that can provide an additional revenue for the farmers for the potential increase in cropping time and adaptive to a specific location and condition, which enables effective waste management practices. We have a group of young and talented innovators who are experts in their respective fields. There are 3 agricultural engineers and a newly onboard chemical engineer who continuously been innovating and developing ways to have more efficient way of collecting and using rice straw, as well as the renewable energy. We are looking forward this coming wet season as we potentially have the largest area to harvest in our town using our modified combine harvester. Our ask is for an equipment loan, specifically for a truck and rice dryer of up to 100,000 USD to help us to kickstart with our commercialization to let us reach more rice farmers. If you want to know more about us, you can find us with this information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Geraldine. That was most interesting. Yeah, so guys, please help me with this. Post some questions. I'm sure you have some. I'm sure you're curious to know more about this type of technology. Geraldine, can you share with us a little bit maybe about you know, what successes, what little success stories you might have in the Philippines so far with this
combine harvesting?
Yeah, with your project. Yeah.
Last season, we tried it as a pilot for the which is in our town in Victoria, Laguna, Philippines. So we tried it out for around 10 to 15 hectares. And basically, most of the farmers who have engaged with us are very well satisfied with the experience and the services that were rendered to them, especially with the stubbles left. As what I mentioned earlier, with the stubble, in a conventional way, it will take around a month before you do the land preparation. But with us, right after we harvest it, we collected all the straw, they can readily land prep their field. So they can properly schedule their planting. And as you know, here in the Philippines, we really cannot predict when the storm will come. So our combined harvester has been continuously been modifying and putting in innovations by our agricultural engineers so that we can still use it during wet season. Because most of the time during wet season, most of the farmers are left behind, specifically with the use of the combined harvesters, because it's kind of too soft when you put in a very big equipment. But with our system, we are putting our efforts to have a more efficient way of doing the harvesting, having a cleaner grain, straw collected at the same time. So there would be less labor and more efficient use of operations. And after that, after collecting the rice straw, we are putting it in an anaerobic digester So we are still optimizing and developing that process so that we will be able to use the biogas, the energy that will be produced there, for the drying of the palay. Last year, here in the Philippines, the price of the palay plummeted up to 12 pesos per kilo, which is way, way, way below the cost of production. So we would like to extend our help to the farmers by drying their rice so that they will have an additional income. Because the National Food Authority here in the Philippines, which is an arm of the Department of Agriculture, will be buying dried palay at 19 pesos per kilo across the board. So we can probably help and reach a lot of farmers here.
That's great, Geraldine. Thank you so much. Okay, so with that, we'll have to move on to the next speaker. We've got Simon Davis from Sabah. Hello, Simon. How are you doing, mate?
Hey, Kim. Good to see you. Wonderful to be here.
Yeah, and Simon's going to share with us today about his biotech to value add products for seaweed farmers. Simon's been helping seaweed farmers through community-driven and local solutions to make food and create jobs and also clean up the ocean, right, Simon? So
that's correct.
Tell us about it, mate.
Sure thing. Thanks, Tim. Hello, everyone. My name's Simon Davis. I'm the founder and CEO of Seedling, the world's fastest growing seaweed biotech company. Next slide, please. Seaweed is really hot right now, and there's no surprise why. There's more than 10,000 species full of valuable compounds. It's sustainable. It creates job opportunities for coastal communities, and it's massively scalable. Next slide, please. The market size is already significant, and it's about to take off as seaweed enters new markets, such as what we're doing with animal feed, and whole new sectors are created, such as livestock methane reduction and carbon capture. Next slide. Now, here's the thing. 99% of the world's seaweed is farmed in Asia. The coming boom will happen here in this region where there already are millions of existing farmers. The tragedy, however, is that these farmers currently use poor quality seed material, whatever they've got lying around. Imagine the leap forward that will happen simply by putting better quality seed in their hands. Next slide. At Seedling, we are taking the advances of land agriculture and we're applying it to the ocean. With our technology, we can grow crops faster with greater reliability, greater productivity, and make better products. Next slide. To do this, we use a distributed farming model. We supply our high-growth seedlings to farming communities, monitor the crop while it's being farmed, and then use the harvest to make our premium products. This gives us full control of the value chain, all the way from the seed to the end product, without the risk of farming ourselves. Next slide, please. Our first product is a fermented supplement for the pet feed industry. We started off with pilot production of 200 kilos a month at the beginning of this year. We had an overwhelming response and that sold out. So we're currently scaling our production. We've got a customer committed to 20 tons a month for next year, and we've got a large corporate trialing our product now. This product's got a 15% gross profit margin at pilot scale and an estimated 40% margin with scaling. Next slide. We started with pet feed because we could charge a premium, and we've got a number of other products in our pipeline for agriculture, for aquaculture, for livestock, for humans, and so on. Next slide. Behind this, we've got a team of passionate scientists with expertise in marine biology, food technology, and molecular biology. Next slide. And we're backed by an advisory board of industry experts with decades of experience. Next slide. Our unique advantage is that we are based in the heart of Asia, the major seaweed growing region of the world. And we're the first movers in this region to incorporate biotechnology. And we can do really high quality R&D at very low cost. In the coming years, there's going to be a number of opportunities in seaweed. Knowledge and agility is key. Next slide. Seedling is an impact company. We run training programs funded by the Malaysian government to improve the livelihoods of farmers, in particular women. And seaweed has got tremendous environmental benefits. It captures carbon, it removes nitrate from the ocean, and improves marine ecosystems. Next slide. We'll be aggressively scaling our farming. Next one, please. There we go, thank you. We'll be aggressively scaling our farming to more than 1 million tonnes a year by the end of this decade. Next slide. And to do that, we'll be scaling first in Malaysia, then into Indonesia next year, and then across the region in the coming years. Next slide. We are a fast-growing company, and for us to fully achieve our mission, we need the best people on board. In the coming 12 months, we're going to be looking to hire some key talent to boost up our company. Now, this could be a paid position, or we're also looking for volunteers or advisors as well. The key spots we're looking for is an engineering advisor to expand our feed manufacturing. We're looking for a CFO, probably part-time at this stage, this size of our company. And also we're looking for interns for marketing and social media. If anyone is interested, please reach out to us. We have got a huge mission ahead of us, and we want to have the best people on board possible so that we can be all that we can be and achieve our vision. Lastly, we'll be opening our seed investment round in Q4 this year, and we'd love to have some great like-minded investors to join us and change the world together. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Simon. That was great. Can I ask, how much funding are you looking to raise this time around?
Yeah, well, we're still deciding exactly what we're going to go for, and we'll announce that probably in 2 months' time.
All right, sure. So stay tuned, folks. There's Seedling looking to raise funding, and as well as look for some expertise to help out with their program there. Simon, I'm very interested in your probiotics. I work part-time at a fish farm here in Singapore. Since I'm stuck here, I can't run away, right, to Malaysia. We've just started on probiotics with the fish, and I can already see within a month a significant change in our fish health. We suffer a lot from diseases, you know, bacteria, virus, scale drop, you name it. We have those problems here, you know, and I think the only solution really is to give them the best possible feed that we can afford. So guys who are in the agriculture or animal feed business, you know, take a look at this closely. Simon, can you talk a little bit more about that, the benefits of probiotics, please?
Thank you, Tim. I can talk for hours about the benefits.
Okay, I'll give you a minute.
So seaweed is a superfood full of vitamins, minerals, you know, compounds proven to be antiviral, anti-cancer, antibacterial. And as well as that, it's particularly potent on the digestive system for enhancing the digestive function. And your digestion, both whether it's us as people or whether it's a fish or whether it's your pet, is vital. You know, it controls your immune strength, it controls how you feel, it controls your digestibility, and if you're farming animals, it controls performance, and that's everything. That's the crux of the economics of farming. So seaweed is a natural, a very, very powerful prebiotic for naturally enhancing gut and digestive function. We started off with pet feed because we can charge a premium for it. And we've got a wonderful story of sustainability, and our customers just love it. That, you know, we can sell our pet supplements in London, and and they can say, oh wow, this is changing the lives of seaweed farmers in Southeast Asia, and it's cleaning the ocean and blah blah blah. So we get this wonderful sustainability narrative. But that's just the first product in our pipeline, and we are very, very keen to be expanding to aquaculture, to livestock, and also to humans. So watch this space. It's really exciting.
Yeah, that's terrific, Simon. Can you share with us a little bit more about the impact you've had on the farming community there? How is their income levels looking? Are their lifestyle changes? How has it changed? How has it improved them?
Yeah, so we at this stage for this year, we've just been in pilot production, so really quite small volumes in what we're trading. But we're, it's just been like 1 ton a month. We've been trading for this year, but we're actually in the process of scaling that up to 3 tons a month starting this month. So 300% increase, which is awesome. But honestly, that's just nothing compared to the scale that we're aiming for. Next year it's going to be 60 tons a month. And what that means is dependable income for the farmers. We go in there every month, we pre-agree the price, we guarantee the buyback. It's dependable income. We work together. They need support. That's really powerful. And in addition to that, we run training programs, and that's thanks to TBN for supporting us in that. Much greatly appreciated. And also thanks to the Malaysian government, to MAGIC, which is a social entrepreneurship organization. We've been really hampered, unfortunately, because we had this amazing program to run for the community with partner NGOs training the community, how to, care for the environment and, prevent plastic trash. And we were supposed to start rolling it out 3 months ago. Due to COVID, we can't go out to the villages. So that's a shame, but it's, as soon as we can, in the next month or 2, we'll be going and implementing that program, but it's going to be really, really exciting.
Perfect. We look forward to that, Simon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
Hey, thanks for your presentation. Time is really running along. I've got to cut you off there. I'm so sorry. I've got to go on to the next speaker, please. Thank you so much, Simon.
Thanks, Tim.
And so next up we have Iwake, and Iwake is headed by Pak Albert. Pak Albert is an expert also in aquaculture, and they found an ingenious way to make fish taste better and make fish healthier. So please, Pak Agus, sorry, I'm so sorry. Pak Agus, please, this is your time.
Hi, Tim. Thank you.
Hi,
thank you for the time. Yes, I'm Agus from Iwake. Can see the slide. Thank you for the opportunity to me for sharing Iwake story here. Iwake in Indonesia in Java language means fish. Iwake, Iwae, the pronunciation, but in English means I wake or Indonesian wake. Can I see the slide, please?
Give LJ a second. I think LJ is trying to pull up your slides. So sorry about that. Give her a few minutes. Here.
So in Indonesia, especially in freshwater aquaculture, the farmer usually low education and use traditional methods. They use non-standardized feed. They use many of waste feed like manure, like catering waste, and usually they do in small economic scale. In the other hand, the hotel, restaurant, catering, and the industry need quality fish, need quantity fish, and continuity fish. And because of the supply chain also fragmented, there are an issue that usually the farmer use antibiotics to keep the fish not die, because they usually do in small scale and fragmented supply chain. The seed producer use antibiotics to maintain the seed not die, and then because the seed producer already use antibiotics, the grow out farmer must use antibiotic to keep the fish health. So that's the problem. And usually because they use waste feed, the taste of the fish not good, and it makes impact for the customer to many of Indonesian people. In Jakarta area itself, every month there are about 4,400 tons tilapia, carp, and other fish that distribute to the community. Next. So Iwake start in 2016. We start the models from first. Our start is make fish factory to produce healthy fish. But last year we changed our model to the goal is same, to make healthy fish and delicious fish, but we changed the model. In 2016 until 2020, we make internal producer, but after last year Sept training, the TBN team inspire our team to grow our impact. And then we see a lot of idle capacity in Indonesia, a lot of pond, a lot of talent. And then now we change the models. We collaborate with the pond owner. We collaborate with other aquaculturists, aquaculture farmer, and we empower and improve the quality and make standardization and sustainability. In this year, we already trained around 64 aqua partner, and now already 36 aqua partner do the process in 50 hectares land partner. Next. So this is our product. Our product is fry and fish. The fry, we have fast-growing fry, healthy and disease-resistant fry, and also the fish, non-antibiotic, standardized, continuity, and we have the quantity. And we already have certified with excellent with the government in Indonesia, our fish farmer. And our commodity is catfish, lele in Indonesia, patin, and tilapia. That's all. Okay. Next. Yes, this is our model. So we do collaboration with aqua partner, landowner, and project investor. Aqua partner will have 20 until 30% of the profit. Landowner same, and project investor 20% of profit sharing. But if the project investor want fixed margin, they can be fit financing. So it's around return 18% per year. But if they want to do profit sharing with risk, it's around 5 until 48% per year. And our model is we not invest to build any pond, because we collaborate with pond owner. We matching the land, the aquaculturist, the fish, and the market, because we believe every land must have matched fish with the water, with the temperature, and with the market. And we do profit sharing, and our function is for R&D team and platform development. Next. So to maintain all of the partner will happy, we make the application with real-time data that can access with multi-partner, and we do investment and working capital split. So if anybody here have technology in aquaculture and want to implement in Indonesia, we are happy to collaborate. You can rent the technology, so we can distribute to our aqua partner. And also because of we have many aqua partner, we can have internal insurance for the seed. We charge 7% to the death rate, and then we distribute the models with insurance in our internal aqua partner. And we believe because we have data and we track all the data, our aqua partner will have faster learning curve, so they will more predictable harvest yield. And because we have volume and quantity and continuity, we have higher and more stable selling price to the market. Okay, thanks. Thank you for all. We ask if anybody here have technology in aquaculture, maybe team in your probiotics, we can collaborate, and also with investor, maybe in next year, we will make more impact to scale up, to do these models more to many land. Because if you see in my background, this is our farm. Our farm is 2 hectares, but there are a lot of idle land behind our land. It's around 60 hectares and can impact more people. Okay, maybe that's all, Tim.
Terrific. Thank you, Pak Agus. That was a wonderful presentation. You and Simon from Seedling definitely have to connect. He's got all the solutions for you in the probiotic feed, right? Yeah, very exciting. We've got a question from William here asking whether you have any plans to enter marine fish aquaculture, seawater, and also about lobster aquaculture.
So basically, we are in all aquaculture segment, Tim, but now we are more focused in freshwater and brackish water because in that area, the capital is not too intensive. There are a lot of land. We are only need operational funding, not investment funding. But in seawater, the investment must big, and yeah, the impact is not as big as in freshwater and in brackish water.
Right. Okay. Thanks so much, Pak Agus. Really enjoyed that. Really, very interesting. With that kind of wraps up our segment on agriculture and aquaculture. We're going to move on next to healthcare. We've got the next 4 speakers on healthcare. And first up is Gigi Sepianto, who's the co-founder of WeCare.id. And she's got a very novel way of utilizing IT in healthcare to help the patients who need it the most. And so please, Gigi, the time is yours.
Thank you, Tim. Hello, everyone. My name is Gigi. I'm co-founder and CEO of WeCare.id. But first of all, thank you so much for our sponsors, HealthServe. We haven't met each other, but hopefully you can connect after this. Thank you for allowing us to join this incredible conversation. So yeah, so WeCare.id is basically we are basically a medical crowdfunding platform. We help people to raise funds to afford the medical treatment that they deserve. Next. So why we're doing this, because we still see a lot of inequalities in healthcare, whether expertise or infrastructures in Indonesia. So basically, if you get sick in these red areas, which is basically outside of Java, there is a big chance that you will still need to be transported to a better facilities in Indonesia, which is mostly in Java area, and it's not covered by the national insurance. So roughly, we still have like 30 to 40% of medical expenses that is out of pocket. So that's the gap that we're trying to close and to facilitate through the crowdfunding services and other possible medical financing approach. Next slide. Yeah. So yeah. So before the slide. Yeah. So yeah. So our solution is pretty much straightforward. So it's a medical crowdfunding platform. We work with medical partners across the countries. They are basically hospitals, medical departments in governments or healthcare organizations. They help us to verify and submit the patients. And then also there is we can also submit by ourselves to public. And then we help them to create an appealing campaigns in our website. We help them to create the stories, how much they need, make an appealing photos and other medias to help them to raise funds to our community of donors, which is now about more than 50,000 in our platform. And the donors will be able to donate as small as less than $1. Next. So crowdfunding is quite big in Indonesia, especially also with the COVID-19 race. A lot of people are donating to people's needs. And because of the culture itself, the gotong royong culture, which is deeply rooted in Indonesia, there is a big philanthropical potentials that hasn't been unlocked. And especially because there is also like zakat culture, and there is a like 15 billion opportunity, which is still be capped as around like 1 billion per year. So there's still a lot of rooms to be improved, to be unlocked in this giving space. And that's something that we need to, that we looking to unlock through the crowdfunding approach, and especially with the technology that we have now. And in terms of the needs itself, like I mentioned before, 30 to 40% of medical expenses are still out of pocket, and especially for the chronic disease such as cancer, cardiovascular disease, and even it's not just the patient's problems; it's also healthcare facilities problems. So actually, there are several numbers of hospitals who also raise funds in our website in order to them to cover the spending that hasn't been able to be paid by the patients. Next slide. So our revenue is pretty much straightforward, especially with the crowdfunding side, we take 5% to 10% platform fee from every campaigns that crowdfunded in our sites. Other sources, we do B2B. We help our partners, and other organizations to optimize campaigns in our sites. So we charge them for a consulting fee. We also do activations in terms of co-creating CSR programs, mostly in healthcare with the companies. And then we do like a end-to-end campaigns from CSR activation on offline, and then the campaign itself, the crowdfunding itself, and some part of it. Since last year, we also facilitate distributions, donation distributions. So we kind of providing logistics services to help companies to deliver their donations to the last mile. Next. Yep, this is what we do also during the COVID-19 season, and until now, we're becoming like logistic hubs. We provide warehouse services, distribution services, and also documentation services for those donors or companies who wants to not just sending money, but also sending goods to the beneficiaries, which mostly hospitals and also the beneficiaries across our countries. Next slide. So far, we've been distributing around 2.5 million US dollars in donation values since 2018. We have more than 5,000 beneficiaries and also 50,000 more community of donors on our websites. Next. And this is also our distributions channels for goods distributions. We send mostly PPEs and also other donations, such as supplies of foods and other donations from companies. So we help them to create channels to deliver the donations. We work with many partners like companies and also governments and also organizations. Next slide. We are a co-founder of two with other several members of teams comprised from healthcare professionals and also technologies and also operational experience. Next slide. Yep, as we mentioned before, we are in a very strategic place to work with everyone basically. We help governments, we help brands, companies, individuals, hospitals to raise funds and also to distribute the donations to many beneficiaries across our countries. Next slide. Yep, last year we also helped government of Singapore to help to distribute the donations to many hospitals across our country. Next slide. Also do the CSR and intervention programs, which we hope so we create a CSR and intervention program on the ground so that we also be able to create a network of distribution channels so that when we want to distribute the donations, we already have a distribution channels in the region. Next slide. So yeah, we're open to a lot of form of collaborations. If one of you wants to activate your crowdfunding campaigns or a healthcare program or CSR, and also do you want to integrate or have a seamless donations platforms in your platform, in your apps or in your website, we will be able to do that as well. And also, if you also have like a very interesting products that we can help you to distribute to our beneficiaries, we open to help you on that as well. So thank you so much. We look forward to work together.
Thank you so much, Gigi. That was really very valuable. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing, but I think you should be part of the national healthcare system for not just for one country, for many countries around Southeast Asia. Out of curiosity, do you have plans to grow in Southeast Asia?
But I think we haven't done yet with Indonesia. I think there is still like 250 million Indonesians who either they can be our donors or they also need at some points in their life our side to help them to afford some expense of the healthcare. So I think we will focus more on Indonesia first. And I think until we reach like a certain amount of users and also we have built a strong ecosystem in Indonesia, I think we hope to look forward to scale in other part of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, that would be terrific. I'm sure we've got many partners in the TBN fold that would be interested to connect with you.
It's a new trend of tech entrepreneurs being ministers.
Yeah. Did you develop all this technology internally yourself?
Yeah, we have internal teams and also some also outsourced with the external vendors. And for the logistic sides of us, we work with the 3PL third-party logistic partners, so we don't have to really hassle with the warehouse and also the transportations of the donation. Okay.
Yeah, I imagine the logistics is a major headache.
Yeah.
Indonesia being such a big country. Wow. So if you have logistic solutions out there in the audience, please connect with Gigi. I'm sure he would be happy to work with you. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim.
Really appreciate your time and your effort here. Let's look forward to embracing this technology in the near future. Thank you, Gigi.
Thank you.
Okay. Up next, Francis Yip, the Chief Commercial Officer of Live Full. And Francis has found also innovative ways of distributing much needed healthcare to the underserved communities. Francis, I think, is based here in Singapore. Yes, and I'd like to give him the time now. Please.
All right, Tim. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is Francis Yip. I'm based in Singapore. I am part owner of this company called Live Full and also the Chief Commercial Officer. So over the next 10 minutes or so or less, let me explain who we are and what we do. So LJ, can you run the video, please? Okay, LJ, thank you very much. So Live Full is a life science company. You can find us on this website. And our mission is really to expand solution in healthcare by either discovering it or we develop it ourselves. And then we make sure that these solutions are available to communities so that lives can be transformed and people can live their life with freely, well, and fully. Right? That's where the word Live Full comes from, living life fully. Now, it's important also to note here that the impact or the priority on impact over profit is very important to our mission. And I'll explain a little bit about that in my subsequent slide. Next one, please. Okay, I think you have seen some of this in some shape or form during this conference. Definitely one of the speakers talked about the inequality of wealth. Well, the inequality of wealth, you can see from the wealth pyramid here, right? You have a lot of pharmaceutical company, a lot of drug company, a lot of life science company. They focus a lot of their solution at the top of the pyramid. You can see right on top there, people that are financially better off, that earns more than $60 a day. So our mission is really to focus on what we call the partially served, and bottom of the pyramid, the underserved. So people who are daily waged, daily pay by daily, those that earn less than $2 a day. A lot of our programs today, when we design a solution or we produce a solution, we make sure that that solution is affordable and accessible to the underserved or the partially served communities in Asia and also in Africa. Next slide. So just to give you an example, a case study, in Indonesia, mosquito, a simple insect like mosquito, is a big problem in this country. Not only in Indonesia, but in many other countries. But using Indonesia, you can see, for example, in the middle of this infographic, if a child is, 80% of children, before they reach the age of 10, they would have been infected by dengue or malaria. And when they are infected by this disease, dengue, you will see that on the bottom left-hand side, they spend at least 4 to 12 days in the hospital. I'm not so sure how many of you have the unpleasant experience of contracting dengue or malaria, but there's no cure for this mosquito-borne disease, and it is also very tiring and extremely painful in the recovery process. So you can see, even with solution available today, be it a mosquito coil, or be it a bed net, or even the simple repellent, you will take almost 3 times repellent, you apply 3 times before it becomes effective. So what is our solution? Okay, next slide. So at LiveFood, we actually created a repellent. You can see the attributes on the right-hand side. We created a repellent that can last 14 hours. Not only is it able to protect and repel mosquito, it can also repel biting insects like ticks, flies, sandflies, and lice as well. It is sweat-proof, and it is also extremely safe today. You can actually use it for children or babies that are 2 months old and above. And it is hypoallergenic, meaning people with skin sensitivity, you should not be affected by it. It's safe if it touches your mouth, or even if it goes into eyes, you will not have massive eye irritation or even blindness. This repellent today is already available around the world in many countries. And more important, if you look at it, right, this repellent is also very friendly for the environment. So this is one solution that we have actually developed ourselves. Next slide. Now, I think everybody knows that we are in a very terrible period of our life, right? Where we have the COVID-19, and it's affecting livelihood, you're affecting jobs, it's affecting families, and so forth. So one of the ways that the world is responding to this is obviously through vaccination, and also through testing using things like the antigen test kit. And I'm sure in your country, you can go to the government or you can buy it at a pharmacy, antigen test kit. So what we found that many low-cost country or low-income country and people at the bottom of the pyramid, even for, if you're earning less than $2 a day, you just can't afford a test kit, right? And what we did was we actually went to a company in UK, United Kingdom, that makes test kit, and we partner with them. And we managed also to get the backings and the funding from the Gates Foundation. And what we do now is that we reach out to partners, NGOs around the world, and make sure that this high quality test kit is low cost, much, much lower, believe me, a fraction of what you can get at the pharmacy, making sure that this test kit is available and distributed to those who are in the underserved part of the community. Okay, next slide. Here's the other thing that we did ourselves as well. The science officer, you see the picture, the handsome guy with not much hair on your screen, right? This is our chief science officer, Thomas Dooley. He and a bunch of scientists in the US, they actually did a research and see if there is an affordable treatment for COVID-19. And this was part of the US national effort. So what they did was they look at what we call OTC, over-the-counter medication, all right? So what we do here is, what Tom did was that, hey, after many months of research, right, there are actually very affordable medication that can be used to treat COVID-19, not to cure it, but to treat it if you are, unfortunately, if you are infected by it. So one of the things that we ask you to do is this manuscript or this research has already been published and it's been reviewed by their peers. You can actually go to our website, or you can go to our booth if you are a registered attendee of this conference. Download this. This is free, right? Download it, and I hope that you don't have this unfortunate experience of getting it. But if you do, here is possibly a very effective treatment for COVID-19. Okay, next slide. So how do we actually make sure that our solution, either we develop it ourselves or we work with partner, how do we make sure that this is reached out to the community? Well, we have a program called the Ignite Life program. This is our own impact program. If you remember in my slide, in one of the earlier slides, I say that we prioritize impact over profit. Well, this is very important in our mission. If you go into our website, you understand the history and the founder's story behind it. Because when we put a solution out there, we don't just make sure that it's a one-time solution. We want to make sure that there are 3 very fundamental impact measurements that we achieve as well. Number 1, does that solution improve the health access for that community? That's number 1. So no point making a repellent and we decide to put it in Iceland or Finland that probably, 9 months of year is cold and you probably don't have mosquito, right? So we make sure that it's accessible. Number 2 is making sure that it's also job creation and there is sustainable income. Yeah. So last slide.
Yeah, sorry, Francis, we need you to wrap up soon.
Okay,
please. Yeah, thank you.
We'll go to the last slide then.
Yeah.
Okay, so, join us, we're looking for social entrepreneurs, investors, to join us in this mission, and you can reach out to us at this location. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Francis. That was a great presentation. Sorry, it ran over time a little bit, but I just have one thing to say to you, Francis. Where were you when I was in the army suffering from all those mosquito bites? So with that, I'm so happy to introduce Michelle Lee. She's the founder of I'm Soul Inc. And Michelle has some really interesting ways of engaging people through the use of technology in music. So Michelle, the time is yours, please.
Thank you, Tim. Well, hello, I'm Michelle, and I'm from I'm Soul Inc. By the way, the Inc in I'm Soul Inc stands for inclusive, so not incorporated. I like to start with gratitude, and I would like to thank TBN Asia for the opportunity to be here today, and also to Explorer for sponsoring our booth. Thank you very much. So at the ELC, we actually spoke a great deal about mental wellness and creating jobs to eradicate poverty. But I'll put it to you that poverty is not just about not having enough money. It's actually also about poverty of the soul. My Aunt Grace, who's a nun who has worked with many disadvantaged families, told me this. It's not sometimes about getting people jobs. Sorry, can I have the last slide? Not changed yet? Yeah, okay. Yes, this one, thanks. Not about having enough jobs, but it's not about getting them jobs, but about getting them to keep the jobs. So when we don't feel well, we actually cannot receive the goodness, we cannot learn well, we cannot do well. So at I'm Soul Inc., what we intend to do through our work is to change the negative emotions from stress, loneliness, isolation, depression, and really engage people at the soul level to bring hope, happiness, motivation, the connection, and even productivity, working better as teams. So the next slide, please. So this problem that we're solving actually affects everyone. I mean, whether you're rich or poor, able or disabled, but it especially affects the vulnerable and their caregivers. For like people like Mercy, who's in a care home, and is usually slumped in her wheelchair. Sean, who has Down syndrome, and Madam Khoo, who lives at home, but she has dementia, and it caused severe mood swings that actually produce a lot of tension within the family. So our mission, next please. And our mission, therefore, is to be able to engage them so that we can engage everyone to make music for health and happiness. So for Mercy, by the way, Mercy is blind. And we went into the session and basically they said they have never seen Mercy like that, so active in the last 17 years. For Sean, his mother was so thrilled that she actually brought us in to engage her whole team in her company and also for CSR. And for Madam Khoo, our engagement gave the family a lot of joy, and the positive mood that we have produced lasted weeks and months after the session. So much so that they bought our technology, and the grandson is now one of our volunteers. So I don't have time to show the videos. Please visit us, and we're happy also to demonstrate to you. But we'll go on. The way we have engaged people and why we're different from like a music studio or a school is because we know that music is powerful, but many people do not know that actually making music, which means to create music in all forms, to sing, dance, play musical instruments and improvise, it's actually magnifying the power of music on our brains. And that means it's a booster shot. And the main barrier to making music is actually playing musical instruments. And that's where our technology comes in. We used a technology that would be able to give access to all, and I'll share a bit more later. And the last ingredient that we put in our innovation is actually creating communities. Magic. Magic stands for multi-abilities, multi-generations, inclusive communities. And when we put all these three elements together, we actually give a booster shot. So whenever we go into one of our sessions, we get a far greater impact than just listening to music or singing or dancing. It's and, not or. Next page, please. So what we do offer our programs is that uplifting experiences that are powered by technology. And the technology that we use comes from the UK. We're the exclusive producer, but technology is only one piece. And with our program, we are able to enable anyone and everyone. No musical background needed. You can play any musical instrument that you like, hundreds of them, instantly, easily. We have empowered many healthcare staff in hospitals, nursing homes throughout Asia. And we have also brought it to families recently. And I'll share more again about that. So now I'd like to tell you a little bit more about why we do what we do at Unsolving. I was a caregiver too. My father had a stroke and he's so frustrated and angry that his spirit gave up. And the emotional distress that he had was far more debilitating than his physical disability. So I saw this very active, vibrant man wither and die. And I mean, the family, of course, was also very affected, our family. Then myself, I was a beneficiary too. Many years ago, a personal crisis actually drove me to the 16th floor, balcony of our 16th floor apartment. And I remember standing there and wondering, how long will it take for me to get down? So the mental stress and emotions of someone who is down, I've been there, I empathize. And if not for the group of friends who supported me throughout this whole journey, I probably would not be here with you today as well. So for us, therefore, with my group of my team, which include occupational therapists, musicians, and educators, we really know what we are doing, and we have tested it on the ground for the last 8 years. And we are very, very humble and honored to have been recognized for our work with several awards. For example, Asia for Good, and also Eldercare Innovation Awards. And reached out to people, young, old, rich, poor, able, disabled, corporates, everywhere across Asia. Thank you. Next Slide, please. But there's so much more to do because of the pandemic, because the thing that we are talking about, isolation, loneliness, and all, has grown. And people are much more confined to their homes. So there's so much we want to do, and we would really need to find new ways to reach out. And much of it is in digitization and AI. So I'm looking for active investors who would walk with us, not just give us the money or, you know, guidance or whatever, but walk with us so that we could go digitize and collect the data and get into AI so we could serve better. We're also looking for training and CSR partners, people who, you know, you want to enhance your training by bringing their spirit up, by energizing them, by using music and its power, and tap on what we have developed over the last 8 years. If you want to engage your staff in a more deeply engaging way, meaningful way, then we want to work with you. And last but not least, to have a movement like this, to be able to touch a lot of people, I really would need all of you to come forward and join us as music ambassadors. We have many of our music ambassadors who are actually people who have worked with us, interned with us, volunteered with us, and sometimes even become our staff. So come along, join us. If you need to know more, do contact us, and we'll be very happy to meet with you. Thank you so much. It's the next lesson. So thank you, and contact us.
Thanks, Michelle. That's really precious. Guys, you might think it's complicated instruments and, you know, music and all this stuff. I am totally music inept. And Michelle gave me a chance at being a musician. It is really that simple, right? Isn't it, Michelle?
Yes, I mean, really it is equipment that sort of like translates your movement into music.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is move. You don't have to read the notes. You don't have to do anything. And you can play any instrument you like.
Yeah.
You know, in any language, in whatever genre. And I think, Tim, thanks for bringing it up. It's about the fact that we are not trying to develop musicians.
Yeah, that's right.
We're trying to get people to tap the power of music. Like, I wonder how many of us know that when we forget everything, the last thing that we forget is music.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much in our long-term memory that we have done a lot of work with people with dementia. And I've actually seen how they come up and just remember things, and the lucidity improves, and also the bonding.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
Technology is one part, but really it's the entire program.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle, again. And yeah, we look forward to more partners being able to engage with you in that space. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Kim.
I got to move on to Greg Tan next. He's the CEO of SG Assist. And Greg has also got a wonderful program developed for taking care of our very neglected caregivers, you know, who sometimes suffer so much more as they give their lives to help the ones who depend on them so much. So please, Greg, take it away.
Thank you, team. And hi, everyone. I'm Greg from SG Assist, and I'd like to take that opportunity to thank our sponsors for giving us the opportunity to speak today. So care is a responsibility no one should shoulder alone. I'm so frustrated, and I have no idea how to handle him. How can I get a good rest? Next slide, please. These are some common phrases that we hear from caregivers all the time. Do you know, with the rapid aging population in Singapore, the cost of informal caregiving has increased significantly to 7.82 billion annually. Unaware where and how to seek assistance from, many caregivers end up bearing the heavy burden of looking after their loved ones themselves. On top of incurring more medical expenses, caregivers also have to take time off from work, losing personal time doing what they love, and some may even end up quitting their jobs. And we know that they're not alone in this because we are caregivers too. We took the first step in creating our proprietary SG Assist mobile app, connecting volunteers and resources to caregivers when they are in need of support in their caregiving journey. Now we have more than 5,000 users and 3,000 volunteers stepping up to create a caregiving support ecosystem with us. And in Singapore, by grouping the elderly, the disabled, and those who live alone, this made up around 1 million of what we call the urban unsupported. And they may be vulnerable to social isolation and highly dependent on their caregivers. And that's at least 20% of the whole population. Hence, finding quality help for a loved one can feel like navigating a maze. And that's what Care Connect is set out to do. By leveraging and integrating existing paid and non-paid caregiving service provision and social network to meet multifactorial caregiving needs, Care Connect aims to find the best solutions for your caregiving needs. One revelation from COVID-19 is our accelerated adoption of technology. Likewise, we see the benefit of leveraging technology in caregiving, such as in non-intrusive home care solutions. One feature of the Care Connect membership is to integrate your home care solutions through our partners to our service center, where a professional team is ready to help, including emergency support or interim care services. And currently, there are limited options for caregivers to seek help from. Most are only available to isolated seniors or low-income families supported by non-profit organizations or government agencies. And shouldn't all caregivers deserve the help they need? We see Care Connect filling these current gaps and offering a unique proposition as a proactive public platform. Care Connect business model is not new. A tried, tested, and successful pure inspiration for us is the Senior Citizen Home Safety Association in Hong Kong. It has been in existence since 1996, operating a one-stop care service center and a volunteer network. In fact, one of the SGSC's advisors is Timothy Ma, the founding executive director of SCHSA, who will certainly contribute positively to the success of Care Connect. And in our theory of change, we see by optimizing caregiving resources and enabling real-time support for loved ones in need, we can help them live independently. And we are helping seniors, people with disabilities, and their families to navigate the ever-changing world of care with knowledge, experience, and a personal touch. Hence, with much support from within the social sector, we have commenced our B2B acquisition, starting with the pilot trials over the past 3 months with several valuable partners. And in the next 2 months, we will officially kickstart our full operations with other interested government agencies and social organizations with whom we are in discussion right now. And also on the B2B2C front, like a recent government announcement of 180 senior activity centers, which originally only serve isolated or frail seniors, will be transforming into active aging centers to serve seniors of any socio-economical status above 60 years old. This presents a ready market and potential outreach to over 600,000 seniors who could benefit from our solutions. SGSC is also proud to be part of the core team of a new national initiative, the Singapore Together Alliance for Action for caregivers of persons with disabilities, working along with our government agencies and social organizations to develop solutions related to the care, self-care, and mutual support for caregivers. So not only do we have a strong social focus on helping caregivers, we are committed to building Care Connect into a sustainable and profitable business via 3 main revenue channels: call center solution, membership subscription, and partnership commission. As we execute our strategy, we expect to deliver a solid revenue growth and register profit from at the end of 4th year. And as mentioned earlier, we have 1 million urban unsupported in Singapore. Imagine if we even service 5% of them. The potential commercial value and social impact is tremendous. And I'm confident of what Care Connect can deliver because of the dedicated and experienced team alongside me. And behind the scene, we have a panel of capable advisors who have the necessary corporate skill sets, capabilities, and vast social sectors experiences to make this happen. Today, we're asking for 500,000 Sing to expand our dedicated core team for the business, develop full capabilities of our call center platform, and scale our business development and marketing efforts in order to catch the current wave of interest and keep up with the momentum. And in exchange, we are willing to offer 25% equity. And as a closing remark, I want to underscore that our society challenges in caregiving are real. And if we address them smartly, there are immense opportunities to be reaped. And more importantly, we can build a sustainable care ecosystem. So reach out to us as we look forward to growing our impact with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Greg. This is an incredible tool you have here. I'm just curious, there's so much demand. How do you scale this type of business? Maybe I'll just give you 30 seconds because that's all we have left. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
So we're looking to scale this right now in Singapore as we work with different B2B organizations, as well as how we can even work with corporates to look into how we can even impact into their employee benefits as well. Yeah. And at the very same time, this is where we start with the caregiving mindset to be taking care of our employees, as we even look forward to other sectors in the other countries in Singapore and around Singapore, which have the very same culture and family values that we have in Singapore.
Yeah. Okay, great. Terrific. Thank you so much, Greg. And so with that, we wrap up our segment on healthcare. And I thank all the speakers and the sponsors, and we wish you all the best in your organization's endeavors ahead. Gives me great pleasure now to hand the time over to Brother Hong Yi, who's also going to lead the session on social impact organizations in the area of education. Hong Yi, over to you, please.
Okay, great, team. Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pity that we can't see much of your faces since most of you do not want to on the camera. But we will be having 8 organization sharing for the next session. You can see the timing and the various organizations that we represent in the slide that is being put up now as well. My name is Hong Yi, and together with me is David. David is supporting us on the tech side as well. So if you have any issues, he'll be the first person to go to as well. I would just like to set some ground rules. As in previous sessions, each session will last for around 10 minutes, and around the 8-minute mark, I will remind the presenters they have 2 more minutes left. We have allowed the presenters to determine how they want to maximize the 10 minutes. I'm sure some of them may spend the whole time presenting, while others may want to spend more time engaging you. So keep the engagement level alive. I'm sure you can engage the presenters either through on your mic and having your questions, or putting in the chat as well. Okay, so without much further delay, let me pass the time to Nolina, who will share more about her organization. Nolina, all yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you today. I am Nolina, the co-founder and Chief Operating Officer at Inspiracom based in Kuala Lumpur. I have the best job in the world. I help enrich lives of corporate professionals and young people. Next. Next, please. Inspiracom was established 5 years ago as a small enterprise. From day one, we were advocates of SDGs by publishing online magazines and organizing bazaars. In 2016, we changed our company to a private limited company. Next. The co-founders are a husband and wife team, myself and my husband, and we are parents of 3 children. We realized that the growth mindset and resilience are very important in the corporate world as well as at home. We, with our combined experiences and a burning desire, we want to help others to create something big. Next. In 2017, we started to volunteer at a primary school for Orang Asli children, indigenous children, to guide them to read and write. Then we organized leadership and motivation workshops. We strongly believe that we can help children in primary and secondary schools as well as youth. In 2018, with our passion, experiences, and capabilities, we pivot to a social enterprise. Next. Inspiracom's vision is to be a leading CSR consultancy to produce a world filled with active citizens and lifelong learners. Our mission is to help companies to build a positive reputation and to help young people to make good life choices so that they are employable. Next. We help purpose-driven companies and organizations to conduct CSR programs to support SDGs with clear ROIs, from end-to-end management to reporting. These companies aspire to have the best CSR reputation, but lack of resources, experience, and time. Why us? To teach and to inspire are in our DNA. Our clients can also do CSR programs and help tackle today's learning crisis for young people. Next. Today, many young people are feeling lost, depressed, confused. Some have skipped online learning classes to help their parents to earn an income. Students lack of life skills. Next. So we teach, we coach, and we mentor these young people to unlock limiting beliefs through emotional and motivational support in a nurturing environment. We encourage them to discover and experience essential life skills to create curiosity and excitement. Next. We inspire young people to self-discovery, to have positive attitude, to be happy, and to be able to lead meaningful lives. We want to improve school attendance and reduce dropout rates. Next. We work with poor families, young people from poor families, and we want to reach out to more children. Next. We offer not only CSR consultancy services, but we also offer training programs in IT and life skills education. Next. COVID has taught us to start a B2C model. Yeah, next, please. Okay, so we built strong relationships with stakeholders, and by using evidence-based processes to facilitate participation and engagement with communities and companies. Next. We started our pilot project in 2018 for 50 Orang Asli students. Since we have support from more clients, and we managed to reach out to over 500 students. This year, for ongoing projects, we are working with over 300 students. Next. Next, please. Okay. Yeah, so this year we are working with over 300 students. Next. School communities tell us that they discover new skills, knowledge, and experiences with us. From clients, they tell us that we operate like a corporate entity. We even assist clients to submit applications for CSR awards. In 2019, we received the Malaysian National Sustainability Award. Next. This is our management team. Next, please. Next. This is our management team, and we have recently set up a base in Sarawak to reach out to more children. We empower university students from psychology, education, and social science faculties. Next. So I will show you a snapshot of our print coverage, which we have appeared in major newspapers. Next. Next, please. Okay, so these are our print coverage, and next will be we were featured in the Bulletin Didik. It's a television channel under the Ministry of Education. Next. So we would like to connect to companies as clients to grow our business, and we are looking for a social impact grant of Singapore dollars 5,000 to upgrade our ICT equipment so that we can offer blended learning in our programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Norina. Maybe I should start by asking the first question. What's your greatest joy as a co-founder?
The greatest joy as a co-founder, the first thing is like, we thought that we can spend more time with the family when we start our new company, then when reality hits us. But the good thing is that we are working with children and we are empowering and inspiring. So it's always very positive. I guess to be positive in terms of mindset, that's why we are very attracted with the growth mindset methodology.
Okay, very good. So let's open up to the rest. This is Q&A time. I think there's questions in the chat as well. Norina, I hope you can see them as well. Like what I said, for those who wants to verbalize, it's okay for you to on your mic and maybe show your face to verbalize it too.
Okay, Hong-Yi, do I just go ahead to answer?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, okay,
yes.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this question: when you were starting out this program, how did you sustain yourself? Honestly, we have been bootstrapping, and we have clients who have been with us since 2018, so that's good. We get to our clients have been with us, and we maintain the relationship. We serve them well. That's how we earn our income. And this year, we are very grateful that we have received some grants from Magic as well as SME Corporation. So we are also looking, since COVID hit last year, our projects were affected because we did our programs in school. So with school closures, we were affected. And that's why we are looking into our B2C model for more income generation. But now we are moving into community halls. We are conducting our programs in community halls. So we are not affected by the school closures anymore. Please give me, okay.
Any more questions from the rest? Again, you can easily type in the chat, or you can always on your camera and your mic and just ask the questions. We still got around a minute.
Okay.
Norina, do you have slides on your contact details? So in case people may want to contact you.
Oh, yes, it's the last slide. David,
okay.
Thank you.
So for those of you who wants to contact, you can always take a photo of the information, or you can always contact TBN where we can link you up with Lorena as well. Any more questions, I get? If not, then I say thank you, Anolina, for your time, and wish you all the best. And as we prepare for the next session, my tech support David will help us even as we introduce our next speaker as well. Okay, so our next speaker is already on the screen. Her name is Stephanie. She is from my EduSoft, and I will pass the time to Stephanie. Yeah, Stephanie, all yours. So it's maximize your 10 minutes.
Thank you, Hong-Yi. First and foremost, we would like to say thank you so much to our generous sponsor who has chosen to remain anonymous and for giving us this opportunity to share more about my EduSoft. So hi everyone, my name is Stephanie and I'm the founder and COO of an education startup focused on solving the problem of youth unemployment. Next slide. So a little bit about us. We help prepare digital talents who are ready to be career ready by teaching them about fundamental digital literacy skills. So we work together with companies such as Microsoft, Adobe, and also Project Management Institute, and provide internationally recognized certifications that are also industry approved. Through our program, we also seek to build a better Indonesia and empower youth all over the country. In total now, we have worked together with over 50,000 learners and get 35,000 learners certified. Next slide. So the main problem that we want to solve here is the gap between education and workforce. As you can see here, whenever a student graduates, there's usually a path, but up until vocational school and university, suddenly it makes it very hard for people to find jobs. In Indonesia alone, there are 9 million youths who are unemployed, or close to 17% of the youth population. Next slide. So unemployment in Indonesia, according to Badan Pusat Statistik, as of August 2020, is 9.77 million. 15% of those are actually college graduates. And part of the reason why we decided to go the certification route is because 91% of hiring managers report that certification is crucial in one of the criteria that they are looking for as they're hiring for people. Next slide. So let us introduce you to Aryo, one of the success stories of our program. So he graduated from SMK, which is a vocational school over in Indonesia. He started looking and failing to get a job for over a year. He sent out his resume. He didn't really get many interviews because he didn't have the educational pedigree that people are looking for. Thankfully, he didn't give up and he decided to pursue an MTA, which is a Microsoft Technology Associate in Python, together with us. And in the end, he got a job as a data scientist within 3 months in Singapore with a starting salary of 5,000 Singaporean dollars. We believe that we can replicate this for so many other youths in Indonesia. And we believe we can do this with your help. Next slide. So here we're just showing a different resume, one with a certification and one without. And in and of itself, to be completely honest, the person is the same. The only thing that differentiates them is that their skills will be verified and it will be standardized by a standard, either from Microsoft, Adobe, or Project Management Institute. Next slide. So essentially, the way that we would define poverty is not just the lack of money, but it is the lack of opportunity. And we believe that for a lot of people, this is what we want to provide: more opportunities and also the ability to be able to explore a different career path and a better life. Next slide. So certification will help bring credibility, which equals to building more trust, which will hopefully also open the door for more opportunities for these youths. Next slide. So these are all of the programs that we have. Next slide. And we also believe not just in the things that we are teaching, but we also believe in the testimonials of people who have been taking a course together with us. And some of them are mentioning that it's not just they feel that they have joined a class, but it also helps them with their confidence, and it helps them with inspiration and giving them the motivation to be able to find the next job and doing things like that. Next slide. So I would close by saying that one of the adages that I love the most is the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. Youth unemployment and education is not a problem that we can solve right away. But if we don't start solving them now, then it will continue to fester and become a problem even years down in the future. So let's solve the youth unemployment problem in Indonesia together. Thank you.
Okay, Stephanie, thanks for the presentation. Again, maybe I should be the first to start the ball rolling. Stephanie, what made you decide to start this organization? What was the trigger?
I think the trigger would be God, because I think all my life it has been leading me to this path. And the reason why I said that is actually because I grew up as a star student, a student at risk. So each year teachers would not know what to do with me, whether I should pass on to the next grade or not. And I feel like for a lot of kids, it also happens the same way. And that's also the reason why we want to solve the problems for youth. Because when people see these youths who are on the streets or not doing anything or not getting jobs, most often than not, people would suddenly think it's probably because they're not smart enough. They don't work hard enough. When in truth, there could be a million other reasons why they're not where they want to be right now. So essentially, I believe that I'm where I am now because people believed in me before I could even believe in myself. And we started this and founded this company so that we can believe in others in the same way.
Yeah, that explains why you believe that poverty is not lack of money, but more opportunity as well. Okay, for the rest, again, it's time to Q&A again. Again, Awaisha, you can always type the message into the chat, or you can always unmute and ask the question as well. In the meantime, for those of you who are interested, Stephanie has also put her contact details in the chat, and it's also on the screen. So if you want to contact her, that's how you can get to her as well. Stephanie, I think there's a question for you too. You may like to start answering them in the chat.
Sure. So we have a couple of different ways of working together with people. First and foremost, we usually work together with schools, and we would supplement them vouchers at a discounted rate. There is also sponsors and CSRs. We also run free programs. So we would ask them for giveaways, for instance, so they share your story and why you are interested in taking the certifications. And we have that available on our Instagram at MyEduSelf. So there are a combination of free and paid programs that we are running. I hope that answers your question.
Good. Any more questions, people? So while they are waiting, maybe I ask the next question, Stephanie. Sure. What is one thing that you want people to walk away after your presentation?
That there is something that we can do about the problem that is currently looming. Because I think sometimes problem seems way too big that it seems like, this is just the way things are. But things always change when people start thinking differently. And I think we see this, for instance, with Edison. He was a crazy person, right? We can have lights and we can work all night long. And people were asking him, why would we want to do that? And then looking at the world that we're living in now and looking at the world that we've built now, it's clear that all it takes is one person who believes in a better future. And one day it will also appear.
Maybe it's good for you to recap. How do you want the audience here to help you in this journey if they are interested to walk with you in this journey?
Yeah, so I think for us, anyone who is interested in education or anyone who is interested in solving this problem, we're always looking for collaborators and also mentors. So those are the two specific ways that you guys can contribute and go alongside us in this journey.
Good. So any more questions from the rest? Any mentors up here who is wanting to sign up straight away? You know, there's again, the contact details are on the screen and in the chat as well. Any other questions? Maybe one last one from me, since everyone seems to be a bit shy. Is there any criteria to be a mentor?
The willingness to want to help. Because to be completely honest with you, I think all we've seen so far, especially through the TBN Asia community and people all around, is that we can always learn so much from people who are willing to share. And I think that would be the #1 criteria that we're looking for in a mentor.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much, Stephanie. Yeah. Okay, great. Now we are transiting to our next speaker. Obviously, his screen is now on so that you can see that he's down there as well. So I have Asaka and Tomo. I think this is the only presentation where they are presenting as a couple. The rest are all individual presenters. So that's so unique about it as well. Okay, their slides are ready, right? So Asaka and Tomo, all yours.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Tomo Hamakawa.
Hi, I'm Asuka.
And we are the co-founders of Earth Company. Before I get started, let me just give you a quick peek of where I am. So you can see the hotel. Maybe it's on screen share, so it might be a small screen, but we'll tell you more about the hotel in a little bit. Great. All right.
We have highlighted spotlight you. So actually you have bigger screen now. You can actually see even more if you want to.
So yeah, we are, as Honi mentioned, we're a married couple. We have 4 little kids. So there's a lot going on at home as well as at work. So Earth Company was started in 2014 and we do 3 things, Impact Heroes program, Impact Academy program, which is actually quite similar to the Inspiracom business model that was presented a couple presentations before. And then the third one is our Eco Hotel. Next slide. And as I said, we founded Earth Company back in 2014, so about 7 years ago. Next. And we are now a team of about 40 members. So about 25 people are involved on the hotel and restaurant sites. And then the remaining 15 are involved in the accelerator and the education program. Next. And so in terms of our Impact Heroes program, so we select 1 change maker per year and we support them for a 3-year period. So that's and we do basically anything and everything we can for them. So it's quite a unique accelerator in that sense. And as you can see from the countries at the bottom, as well as the sectors, we are pretty diverse in terms of the geographical coverage in the Asia Pacific. We're also sector agnostic. And this isn't a KPI, but we do believe that down the road, there will be heads of states and Nobel Peace Laureates from this group. In fact, Bela Gallios, the original Impact Hero, will be running for presidency of Timor-Leste in a few years. Robin Lim, the second one, she's known as the modern day Mother Teresa. So these are the individuals that we are selecting and really empowering. Next slides. So starting this year, we're also starting to support a cohort, not just one individual. So these are the 10 change makers from around the Asia Pacific doing really exciting stuff. And we're delivering sessions for them on well-being, leadership, as well as kind of long-term thinking. Next slides. So a big thing that we do for them is fundraising. And so we've raised about $2 million for the entire program, and about half of which has been allocated for the construction of the Impact Heroes facilities. So that includes clinics, schools, youth centers, things like that. Yes, next. And the second program that we run is called Impact Academy program. And we are delivering kind of so-called SDGs training, but we're really trying to stretch people to think beyond SDGs and really try to get companies to be involved in sustainability and social innovation activities. A lot of our clients in Japan, but we're expanding to Southeast Asia. And we're also doing the same thing for schools. So we're working with a lot of private schools and public schools in the region to deliver this kind of curriculum, because as you know, this is very much needed and it's in demand. In this program, we've delivered about 45 programs to date in the last 5 years, involving about 800 participants from 24 countries. Next slides. Yeah. And the third thing that we do is our eco hotel, and this is probably the most unique part of our social enterprise. And the reason why we established Mana is because we were running these Impact Academy programs in Bali, and we really wanted to have our own accommodation, own facility that manifests the values and vision that we believe in, and not let them stay in unsustainable guest houses or hotels when they're in the program. So I'll turn it to Aska, who will explain more about Mana.
Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so I mean, if we're looking at the environmental impacts that the tourism sector is making, then, you know, like if you look at the water aspect, then tourists are using 2,500 liters of water per tourist per day, while the locals are using only 180 liters. So that's a lot of water that's being wasted. Next slide, please. And if you're looking at the waste, then the tourists are making about 5 times more waste than the locals. And basically, a lot of it, most of it goes into the landfill. You know, there's no waste processing plant in Bali. So basically, a lot of it just ends up in this waste mountain. Next slide, please. And a lot of the tourists are starting to become very conscious about these problems, and 83% of global travelers actually think that sustainable travel is vital. And a lot of them, 49%, believe that there's not enough sustainable travel options available. And we get, you know, a lot of great young people trying to learn about sustainability and circular economy through our programs in Bali. But you know, they stay at conventional hotels, and they're sort of being part of the problem, not the solution, right? Next slide, please. So that's why we founded Mana. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is what it looks like from the sky. We were able to be awarded the Sustainable Business Awards back in 2020. And then we were just selected as a finalist for this Regenerative Travel Impact Awards. Yeah, I think we're going to find out the result pretty soon, but that was just something nice that just happened. Next slide, please. So there are 3 things that we do. So there are eco villas, and there's a restaurant, farm to table to farm restaurant, and then there's a conscious market. Next slide, please. So what we're trying to do is really to shift from the conventional way of being to regenerative earth, right? What we're having now is, basically creating social and environmental problems. The more we thrive, the more problems that will arise, and we're trying to become more sustainable, and that's what the SDGs are addressing. But it's basically a world where the problems are being born and we're solving them at the same time, and that's not the most efficient thing ever. The next phase that we're looking at will be the circular way of being, and that's a world where we don't create the problems that we have to solve to begin with. But if there's another level, then we want to be regenerative. That's where the more we live, we improve the well-being of all lives on Earth instead of creating problems, and that's where we're headed, and that's really the vision that we're trying to accomplish through the 3 programs that we're running. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Hey, Tomo, maybe you'd like to show a picture again, because this time round is highlighted on you. You can move the laptop a bit more in case people want to see,
okay,
compared to just now.
Okay, cool. All right.
In the meantime, people can ask the questions as well if they have any.
Yeah. So
it makes people want to go to the place now.
Unfortunately, it's a bit cloudy today. It's been raining all morning. Luckily, it's not pouring right now. One thing we wanted to do before we finish this 10 minutes is to thank our sponsor, Yayasan Meek Nusantara, for giving us this opportunity. So yeah, thank you very much.
Good. We still have around 1 more minute. So anyone who have any questions? This group seems to be a bit more shy. Everyone like not asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a first question. You can look at it. It's in the chat. Yeah, all yours.
Yeah, what type of professional training? Yeah, that's a great question. So we basically, it's consisting of 2 parts. So first part is really communicating about the, what's happening in the world, the critical situation that we're in. So there's a lot of learning involved, a lot of case studies, but then we also encourage schools and companies to take action, right? And so we have a framework called Operation Green, where we help offices become more sustainable. So switching to renewable, changing water practices, changing waste generation practices. We also organize, volunteering opportunities to directly contribute to the impact heroes that we support. We also do like employee challenges. So it's not just about learning, but we have a lot of options on action so that the learning becomes implemented and also deepens through that action. Oh, we have a couple more questions.
Yes, but you only have 30 more seconds. So
okay,
just choose one of them or answer both of them within 30 seconds.
Mana Villas profitable? Definitely not during the pandemic. We were actually just starting to become profitable in February 2020. And so hopefully after the pandemic, you guys can all come hopefully. And maybe you can go to the next slide I won't actually explain, but we can just, I'll just show the call for action. Correct. And one of them is to come to Bali and experience Mana.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for your presentation. Yeah. I think there are some more questions. You can answer them separately in the chat. If you want to.
I will. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Great. Thank you. Okay, now David is trying to help us to get our next presenter ready. And in the meantime, is there any questions from anyone? I hope your energy level is still high as we finish 3 out of the 8 of the presentation. Okay, so now where is Natalie? Natalie, are you here already?
Hi, yes, I am.
Okay, great. Natalie, it's all yours now as we prepare the slides to come to you. Or we need to remove the spotlight and put it back on you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I guess while that's happening, I just would like to say I've actually been to Mana and Ubud, and I love the place. I went in I think it was 2018 or 2019 when it was just starting up. So I really have to highly recommend Aska and Tomo's work. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, really beautiful. So my name is Natalie. I work with Dignity for Children Foundation. We are a foundation in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And we work with the urban poor population, mainly children and youth in KL. Next slide, please. So the problem that we're dealing with, we started 22 years ago. I mean, I wasn't there 22 years ago. The founder started it then, working with local urban poor children in these squatter areas in the heart of the capital. But as the years went by, it became really obvious that Malaysia was dealing with a much bigger problem, and that's the problem of stateless communities, refugee communities, and a huge migrant community. All of whom the children of these communities are not able to access basic rights, for example, healthcare, education, financial services, all because these are undocumented or viewed as illegal migrants by Malaysia. So this is the problem that we're facing. Next slide, please. So yeah, these are all the things that they are denied access to, and it's a very sizable population, most of which is actually in KL itself. Next. I realize I have a lot of slides, so I will be saying next quite a bit. So because of the lack of documentation and the lack of protection afforded to this community, this leads to further discrimination and inequality, for example, exploitation at work, child labor, and exploitation of young children, including early marriages. Next slide. Yeah, if you could click again. So what we're dealing with is, in essence, the cycle of poverty, which reproduces generation after generation. And what we do at Dignity is to introduce quality education to help break that cycle. Next slide. Next slide, please. So since we started in 1998, we started with, I think, about 20 children, all of whom were not going to any school, despite being in the capital. Since then, we have really expanded. We have about 1,800 children being served annually from about 20 different countries around the world. We have kids from Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Somalia, Sudan, Pakistan, Iran, Yemen. They really come far and wide, and the majority of these children are in Malaysia because they have fled their country due to persecution, because they're the wrong religion or the wrong race based on where they came from. So our heart's desire was really to not just provide education, but to provide like a world-class education, to break that stigma of like, if you're poor, we give you whatever we can give you. But we felt that we wanted to really do an excellent job of it and to provide high quality education services. Next slide, please. So those are pictures of our classrooms. And these are the SDG global goals that we are aiming to address, which is no poverty, quality education, gender equality, and last of all, good jobs and economic growth. Next slide, please. You'll have to click a few times. So we're quite privileged to have had a lot of people come and visit us across the years and support the work that we're doing. Next slide, please. Yeah, so as of 2021, we're reaching about 1,800 children. Of course, in the COVID pandemic, everything has switched to digital education, but we're continuing to do that. Next slide. So I'm just going to take you through some pictures of the communities we serve and the programs we run. Maybe the person clicking can just keep going through them every 2 seconds. Just keep going forward. Yeah. So these are examples of the preschool programs we run. We teach all the way through primary, and we use the Montessori philosophy to deliver that education. At secondary, we prepare them for IGCSE and as well as vocational training. We have about 180 staff. Okay, I'm just going to pause here for a bit. We have every year about 50 students that graduate and are able to move on because of the education. They're able to move on to university or to find further employment. And it's just really amazing to see that just because they're given the opportunity, they can do so much with their lives. On the left-hand side is one of our students, Saima. She was actually top in the world for, I think, chemistry and physics 1 or 2 years ago. And it's amazing. When she first came to Malaysia, she couldn't even speak, she could hardly speak English. But within a few years of studying at Dignity, she really just powered on ahead, and she has been able to make so much of her life. And we're just really, really proud of Saima and the many others who are like her. Next slide. Yeah, so as part of our education model, we do a lot of extra curricular activities. Click through, please. Next slide. We run workshops and health screenings. We also do a lot of community programs with the different refugee communities. We do food provision, transportation. We're very, very big on sports. And we also do a teachers training program in which we work with other learning centers around KL and in the ASEAN region to help them start up their own grassroots schools, but to do so in a high quality way. Next slide. And this is where I really wanted to share. This is as part of our education model, we've developed the shop school concept in which we combine social enterprise and training for our students to give them the platform to practice skills in a real life setting and to be able to get into internships and go out after that. So we run, next slide. We actually, we own 5 different social enterprises connected to the school. They're all very small, but they're all committed to training youth. And since we started in 2015, our cafe first started in 2015, we've trained about 400 youth and placed about 150 of them in internships. So we have a salon, a Cadex Dignity, a sewing studio, SewX Dignity, a cafe, a bakery, and an art studio. So they all function as social enterprises with products that reach corporates and different individual consumers. Next slide. And yeah, so I'll just keep rolling through, keep going.
Natalie, you have around a minute or less.
Yeah, okay, keep going. I'll skip this one. So next slide. So I'm going to pause here and just say that what we're really looking for is we are looking for business mentorship for our project leads. We have a team of 5 individuals, all under the age of 30, that are running each of those social enterprises and training students. So we're seeking for business mentorship. We're also looking for funding for product development and to scale up, as well as corporate partnerships to either run CSR programs or to partner with us in different ways. So yeah, I'll pause there, and that's me.
Okay, so in the interest of time, we need to end off. But before we end off, again, you have the last slide so that people know how to contact you. I think that's more important, right? And then you can also put into the chat your contact details. And I believe there's one question for you. Do answer that question as you go offline too as well.
Okay, so yeah, this is our contact details. How we fund the work. We do have a strong fundraising team that works through child sponsorship programs. We do grants and things like that. But what we're trying to do increasingly is to strengthen the social enterprises so that we can generate income and diversify our income base. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, guys, thank you for your time. For everyone here as well, we have completed half the number of presentation. We will transit now to the second half, of which we have Samantha. She's already online, ready, smiling away at you all as well. Our Zoom tech is getting ready her presentations. If you have any questions like what I shared before, feel free to put in the chat. I see the chat is getting alive now, which is very, very good. Questions can continue even as the presenters are presenting as well. David, is the slides ready already so that Samantha can get ready to jump into her presentations? She looks so prepared compared to. Okay, while David is preparing the slides, Samantha, maybe I pass the time to you. You can say something first while David helps you to prepare the deck. Samantha, all yours.
Yes, hello everybody. Oh, I believe the slides are ready. All right, so I'll just jump right in. Hello everybody, my name is Samantha and I am the Head of Development and Communication at the YCAP Foundation. So for the next few minutes, I'll be taking you all for a brief overview of the foundation and set aside time in the end for some Q&As. All right, next slide. Next slide. So YCAP Foundation can be easily explained through this logo right here, because these icons actually tells a story. So beginning from the bottom, the books here represents education, because we do believe that education is the key to breaking generational poverty. We also believe that in doing so, it needs to be done with love. And this is where the heart icon comes in. This is where the heart icon comes in. And it can also be seen in our name, YCAB, or Yayasan Cinta Anak Bangsa. Cinta meaning love in Bahasa Indonesia, and Anak Bangsa meaning nation's children. So loving the nation's children, right? And this leads us to our final logo, which is a house that represents prosperity. And so we begin with the key, and then we end with YCAP's vision, which is to see a thriving world where youth and mothers are empowered to be liberated from generational poverty. Right, next. Okay, diving into it deeper, YCAP Foundation was founded in 1999 by our founder, Ibu Veronica Kolondam. Some of you might have catch her speak last Thursday. And we are very much honored to have been ranked 29th in 2021 by NGO Advisor for the best NGOs in the world. YCAP Foundation in itself has two main focus areas, the first being education, the second being economic empowerment. So as can be seen through the slides here, to date, we have reached over 4.1 million youth and almost 200,000 women. And not to forget, over 141 million digital footprints, a very much necessity in today's age, right? And some of you might be thinking how these two focus areas actually correlate or connect. And that can be answered in the next slide. All right, so our premise of change. So beginning with this circle right here, this is the YCAP's organizational model. We begin with investors and their social investment, which is then put into YCAP Foundation's microfinance arm called YCAP Ventures. YCAP Ventures then use the funds to provide ultra micro loans to women entrepreneurs or mothers from low income families. And in YCAP Foundation, we do use it is to break generational poverty, right? And we define poverty the same way World Bank does, which is those who are earning less than $2 a day. And specifically why I said mothers is because our loan and our program is actually conditional upon the education of their children. So mothers who want to join our program, their kids have to go to school. And so with this improved welfare through the loans, we enable education. And YCAP plays a part here as well, because we have learning centers across Indonesia, and we have programs that are designed to equip the education of youth and prepare them for the workforce. And in the last phase, this is our hope, which is to build and create self-reliant next generation so that they can support themselves, they can support their families, and have it be sustainable. And in the future, we really want to see that this circle comes full cycle, whereby the beneficiaries can actually contribute back to the foundation. And in summary, what we want to see here is these 4 points. Mothers are empowered, students learn, youth earn, and a flourishing social enterprise ecosystem. Right, next. So basically, for this premise of change is actually derived and driven by 3 main premises. The first being YCAP's microfinance is a means to an end. The end is education for all. Second, without education, there is no hope of breaking out of the poverty cycle. And third, from earning to learning. So this is from our economic empowerment to our education. And as you can see here, the numbers below are actually results we have seen in our 22 years of journey. 86% of our graduates have received jobs. And from those 86%, 1 in 5 are actually self-employed or micropreneurs. All right, next. Okay. So over the years, YCAP has had various partners who have supported our mission and vision, and this is our call to action for today. It is to find and to partner with any sponsor or organization to create programs that will create impact, because creating change really takes the joint effort of many, right? But okay, next and next. All right, to give you guys a deeper look or a clearer picture of what our programs can look like, I have here 3 programs with me. The first being the one with Google. This project was created and designed to build the resiliency of women entrepreneurs during the pandemic. And as you know, with the pandemic, we're very much limited in the way we can do training, and everything had to shift digitally. And in this, we actually created an innovative digital-based training. So it's done via a chatbot and a learning management system and using a WhatsApp. So the training can be accessed anytime, anywhere, very easily, and very user-friendly. Next, we have the MasterCard program, where it's a 3-year program, and we target 60,000 girls in hopes to raise their awareness in STEM to really address the gender disparity within the industry. And finally, we have what we call Guru Digital with Garina, where before we target the students, this time we target the teachers. And so we want to build the digital capacity of the teachers and build their digital literacy skills and train them to train their students. Right now, we're at our last phase of the program where students are now receiving a coding scholarship. And this is, of course, to further empower them and to further prepare them for the workforce. Right, next. And in our response to COVID-19, these are our more direct approach. There's 3, the first one being iSurf vaccine. Just for background context, in Indonesia, we saw such an increase in numbers over the past few months. However, still a very slow rollout in vaccination. And so in order to provide support and to help accelerate the administration of vaccines, we open up a drive-through vaccination program. And, so people are able to get their vaccines from the safety of their car. And specifically for this program, we are putting extra effort into targeting children as well as children with special needs, because they actually need the vaccination more so than the general public, right? And second is our nationwide campaign called Light Up Indonesia. We raised funds to provide and subsidize electricity cost, because during the pandemic everybody was forced to stay home. Electricity costs of course went up with online learning, so this was a very much need that we saw in the field during those times. And lastly, we also provided additional support. All right, it's okay, you can go next. And to end off, I would like to share with you guys 2 success stories that we have. The first being Ranita. She is a learning center student. She's a young girl who, when she was 15, was almost forced into an arranged marriage by her parents due to lack of income, and in hopes, marrying off to a more wealthy man that could help the family's welfare. But Ranita had such tenacity, had such grit, had such a desire to pursue higher education that with the help of her aunt and the help of Oika Foundation, she was able to finish her high school with flying colors nonetheless. And through this, she actually achieved and was awarded with a scholarship. And this is essentially what our hopes for our education program to be, which is that we give access to those who otherwise would be hindered due to multitudes of reasons, right? And next, and last, I have with me Ibu Reni, who is a program beneficiary from our Google training, the one that I mentioned before. So Ibu Reni owns a bed linen and bed cover store. And during the pandemic, her business was significantly affected. Her family was significantly affected. And this by part because she was forced to close down her business and she was unable to receive any sale orders. But through the training with Google, she learned financial literacy, she learned marketing, digital literacy, and she really learned how to pivot her business, because what we want for businesses who are unable to continue is for them to find new business income streams. And this is exactly what she did. She is now selling an array of frozen foods. Some she self-produced and some she get from local producers. And this is what we want to see when we empower women. They can then empower their community as well as their families. And this is where I guess I'll end off. Yeah, and I can definitely take some questions from the audience if I have time, that is.
So, okay, you have time, but as you are taking the questions from the audience, maybe I request that maybe you go to your last slide with your contact so that people can also see your contact.
Of course.
You have that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I think there's one question among the list of questions out there. Can you find the question? They say, hi, Samantha, just wondering, do your digital program include Blue Prism training, which I have no idea what that is, but maybe you understand, or which digital course is most popular or relevant to your needs? Are you able to find the questions?
I'm not at the moment. I'm scrolling and I'm
it's
not
a bit up.
Okay, Blue Prism and okay. All right, so for YCAP Foundation specifically, when we talk about digital literacy, is really to address the issue of the lack of digital talents in Indonesia, because as even President Jokowi says, right, we need 9 million digital talents by 2035, and that's still such a wide gap. And the reason being is that the curriculum that is offered most of the time is misaligned with industry needs. And so for our digital literacy skills, we do try to, same with our STEM, we try to focus on specific industry needs, because what we want is for our youth to be able to be work ready and to be able to enter the workforce. And so we will have to see per city, per province, because it all differs, right? And what is it that is currently needed at that time, and what we can support in terms of curriculum and increasing skill and upscaling their skills.
Okay, great, Samantha, thank you very much. And for the rest of you, her contact is on the screen. Feel free to connect with her or work with TBN if you need to connect with her as well. So Samantha, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we now transit to our next presenter, Umi. Umi, are you there? As we get ready for our session. It's Umi, right? Umi, are you there? Oh, I'm muted. Oh, sorry, Umi, you have to unmute yourself and show your face. If not, they may not be able to hear you and see you. Can you say hi? In the meantime, the tech support will get your slides ready. And so at least, oh, it's a video. Oh, radio. Okay, so Umi, should we start the video? David, what is her request? Yes, okay, again, we will start the video. Come on, David, all yours. Am I the only one who's facing no volume? Yes, that's what I realized too. I think maybe we may have to restart the video and then share screen with the clicking of the button to say that we want to play sound. David, can you restart again?
David, stop share screen, alternate S, and then restart with the two buttons on the bottom left. Alternate S.
Yes, Lucas, I realized that too. Umi, you cannot unmute yourself?
Hongi, if you have a number, maybe you want to call her on WhatsApp so that through your microphone we can hear her on WhatsApp.
I don't have an accessible phone now.
Is Tiff here?
So we apologize for the technical challenges. Oh, the music is back up again. Glad, man. Okay, we are back to business again.
Sejak awal berdirinya, Pondok Pesantren Nurul Iman dengan penuh optimisme melabeli nama Al-Asriyah sebagai pointer praktek modernitas yang diterapkan dalam sistem pendidikannya. Melalui langkah sistematis dan progresif, pesantren ini mampu mengintegrasikan dua keilmuan yang selama ini kerap mengalami dikotomi, yakni ilmu agama dan ilmu umum. Lebih dari itu, Al-Asriyah Nurul Iman juga menyelenggarakan pendidikan life skill melalui beberapa lembaga kursus dan pelatihan yang ada di dalamnya. Dan untuk mewujudkan pendidikan bebas biaya yang berkualitas, Nurul Iman telah menjalin berbagai bentuk kerjasama yang saling mendukung dan menguntungkan dengan beberapa pihak. Salah satunya adalah kerjasama dan hubungan baik yang sudah lama terjalin erat antara Nurul Iman dan Yayasan Buddha Seci. Wujud kerjasama ini diawali dengan dibangunnya gedung sekolah 2 tingkat pada tahun 2005. Selain itu, kerjasama dalam bidang sosial juga terwujud dalam kegiatan bakti sosial kesehatan yang digelar setiap 6 bulan sekali untuk poli umum, gigi, dan kulit. Hubungan kerjasama antara keduanya menjadi semakin erat dengan adanya beberapa kerjasama lainnya, seperti pelatihan pertanian, kursus bahasa Mandarin, serta pemberian beasiswa kepada 30 santri Nurul Iman untuk masuk Fakultas Kedokteran. Al-Asriyah Nurul Iman juga membangun jalinan kerjasama yang kuat dengan Jepang. Di antaranya, kerjasama dengan PT ASC Indonesia dalam filter air minum bersih atau drinkable water treatment, produksi karbon aktif, dan produksi obat herbal dengan nama Nurul Iman Black Diamond. Sedangkan kerjasama dalam bidang pendidikan, khususnya untuk pengadaan guru bahasa Jepang, terwujud berkat kerjasama antara Nurul Iman dan beberapa instansi Jepang. Di antaranya, Japan Foundation, E-Education, PT Microaid Indonesia, Mirai Project, Nyaman Project, dan Jakarta Japanese School. Melalui kerjasama ini, para santri juga berkesempatan untuk mempelajari kebudayaan dan olahraga bela diri dari Jepang. Di sisi lain, Nurul Iman juga kerap mendapat kunjungan studi banding dari berbagai universitas ternama di Jepang, di antaranya Shizuoka University, Wakayama University, dan Ehime University. Lebih dari itu, Al-Asriyah Nurul Iman juga bekerja sama dengan Korea, khususnya dalam mengembangkan seni bela diri taekwondo di Nurul Iman. Hal itu ditandai dengan didatangkannya pelatih-pelatih taekwondo dari negeri ginseng tersebut. Bahkan, sebagai sarana penunjang aktivitas santri dalam berlatih taekwondo, maka dibangunlah gedung taekwondo atau yang kerap disebut dojang. Tidak berhenti sampai di situ, Al-Asriyah Nurul Iman juga menjalin partnership dengan beberapa negara lainnya, di antaranya Amerika, Australia, India, Malaysia, Sudan, Turki, dan banyak negara lainnya. Demikianlah, dengan adanya jalinan kerjasama dan hubungan yang baik antara Nurul Iman dalam lintas bangsa dan agama, menunjukkan bahwa Yayasan Al-Asriyah Nurul Iman Islamic Boarding School tidak pernah menutup diri untuk berhubungan dengan bangsa dan agama manapun, khususnya dalam hal sosial kemasyarakatan. Berangkat dari pemahaman yang utuh akan ajaran Islam, Nurul Iman menyadari bahwa secara eksistensial, manusia harus hidup bersama dalam keberagaman.
Okay, let's see whether Umi, that was a long video and I think it's an interesting introduction to the organization. I actually heard about Umi organization more than I met her before, long before I met her as well. So, but she still can't get through to us. Umi, I suggest that you may like to log out and log back in again. If you can, use a laptop. But in the interest of time, I want to transit to Peter first. And afterwards, when we end, we will give you time again at the end to share a bit more. So around 4 o'clock, we will come back to you, rotate back to you. I hope that you'll be able to share more at around 4 o'clock. Please try to, if you're using a phone, please try to use a laptop. It may be easier for you to get the
sorry, Hong-Yi, she's already out. So she cannot hear you.
Okay, then follow up with her for me as well.
Yes, please.
So we go to Peter first. Okay, so Peter is on the screen already. I think he's down there smiling away at me already. I spoke to Peter just yesterday, even as we get the presentation. Hi. So Peter, all yours.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to my donor for making it possible for me to share about my social work at this conference. My name is Peter Su. I'm running a community center called Agimatan Community Sempurna, or Sempurna Community Services in English. Next, please. As you can see, basically we are a community center that is giving free tuition. In fact, the word free is printed clearly on our signboard outside. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, I'm the founder and the manager. I'm also a member of the Malaysian Association of Social Workers. So actually, I'm just a social worker, but I was labeled a social activist by the Star newspaper. some years ago, because I believe that helping the poor and needy is not merely an act of charity, it is also an act of social justice. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, now who are the teachers in our center? First of all, we have so-called volunteer teachers. They are actually teachers who are currently teaching in their respective schools. They will need to teach the same subjects that they are teaching in their schools. And we also engage retired teachers, and they also would need to teach the same subjects that they were teaching before they retired. We also recruit school leavers after their Form 5 or Form 6, about 17 or 18 and 19-year-old students. And then they will teach as part-time helpers. Now, all this need to be paid an allowance, of course, even though they are volunteers. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, where my community center is located in Kluang, it's just a small town in the middle of the state of Johor, Malaysia. Now, the Kluang Town Council, in recognition of my community work, has even exempted me from paying the annual signboard fee every year. So I'm reaching out to 6 local primary schools and 9 local secondary schools here for the past 12 years. Next, please. Okay, what do we do? Okay, first of all, we have free tuition. And from Monday to Friday, we have primary school pupils coming in. We have 2 classes per day with 30 pupils per class. And so we have 60 children per day times 5 days. So we have 300 pupils per week. So Saturday morning, we can only engage 1 secondary school teacher. So we can only have 20 students per class. Next, please. So I'm also a licensed and registered counselor. So I've counseled at least 300 students because there was the 300 hours that was required as part of the practicum requirement for the Master in Counseling in 2013. Since then, I've been involved in community-based counseling, dealing with issues such as domestic violence, child abuse, juvenile delinquency, runaway teens, self-harm, and suicide prevention. As such, I work closely with schools and the education department, the social welfare department, and even the police. Next, please. Okay, thirdly, we have a free library. So to encourage reading and to help the students to improve their English, we set up a library, but the library is only open to students who are registered at the center. Next, please. Why are we doing this? Because we believe that education is the most powerful weapon
Looks like we have lost Peter, or am I the only one who?
Yeah, I lost Peter as well.
Okay, yeah, that's the challenge with Peter internet connection. Let's give him a few seconds more, even as he tries to get back as well. In the meantime, oops, we have lost him totally. In the meantime, for those of you who has questions for our previous speakers, feel free to put them in the chat as well. I know the internet connection isn't the best, and some of the speakers has written to me personally that they were locked out and then logged back in again. So if they have not been able to respond to your chat, they apologize. Feel free to drop them a personal message. They will definitely respond to you as well. So just to explain that, you know, is that due to the poor internet connection, some of them were not able to see your questions because when they log back in, they are unable to see the previous conversations as happened as well. Is there any other questions from anyone that we want to pose to the group as a whole? Is my next presenter ready? Just to be... Yes, Chongwei, you're ready, right? Okay, good. Don't worry, don't worry. I just want to make sure that you are ready. You're still early. You're still early. You just wanted to. You can smile at everyone first if you want to as well. Are we able to get Peter back? Oh, unfortunately, that seems to be.
Sorry, Hongi. No, it's not.
Can you share me now?
Back.
Oh yeah, Peter, you're back. Well done. Okay, don't worry. We will
okay.
just I was trying to buy time for you. I think we will get back to the presentation. So don't worry. Okay, don't worry.
Okay.
Let's go. You still got time. Okay. The tech support will get your screen up running for you to continue where you last lost where we last lost you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, man. All yours. Tech support. That's
okay. Why? Okay. Before this, the slide before this, why we are doing this? Okay. Back. Okay, why we are doing this is because we believe education is the most powerful weapon which can use to change the world. That was a quote by Nelson Mandela. We also believe that education is one way to help the poor and disadvantaged to get out of the poverty cycle. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, why? Here in Malaysia, actually, these are official statistics from the Education Ministry. Research has shown that about 25% of students drop out from secondary schools every year. Next, please. Okay, how do we go about it? Okay, as I mentioned, I'm a social worker, so I work closely with the relevant agencies such as the schools and education department, the social welfare department, and the police. I'm also a counselor, so I do counsel students who are at risk of dropping out of school. But most importantly here, we provide free tuition to the students who are at risk of dropping out of school. Next, please. So we work with the schools. I'm a committee member of the Parent-Teacher Association. Next, please. I'm also a member of the Child Protection Team with the Social Welfare Department. So I handle domestic violence and child abuse cases. Next, please. I also work with the police. Next, please. And then certificate again in 2019. So how do we go about it next year? Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we need to adopt a creative and innovative strategy next year. We are now planning to go into the schools instead of having the students come to the center. The students can stay back after school for our free tuition. Under Shift 6 of the Malaysia Education Blueprint, the schools, they stated empower JPN are the state education department, PPD is the local education department, and schools to customize their solutions based on need. Next, please.
Peter, you only got 1 more minute. Huh? You want to jump to what you need. That's very important, right?
Okay, next. Okay, so how do we go about it? We go to the schools and the schools will select the students for us. So they already have the criteria for us. So, and we can help the students to improve from getting a D to a C, from C to the B, and even from B to an A. So if you want to support our work, you can just simply sponsor a teacher for next year. And my name is there, my phone number is there, and you can write to me, Sempurna Counsel, because I'm a counselor, so I just put Sempurna Counsel. Incidentally, Sempurna means, it's a Malay word that means full, complete, or holistic. So we are helping the children, not just from the academic point of view, but also want to help them spiritually, socially, intellectually, and also physically. So Sempurna Counsel@hotmail.com. Do write to me for further details if you want to support our work and sponsor a teacher. Thank you for this time. Thank you, Hong Yi. Any questions?
There may be questions, but I need to cut you off because of the interest of time. I'm sure they will. I have questions. They will put into the chat. Remember to follow up with the chat. Okay, Peter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you very much, Peter. I'm going to get ready for my next presenter, who his face has already started appearing down there as well. Chong Wei is there, right? I think David is preparing his slides as well. So David, when you're ready, please show the slide. That means that is the time for Chong Wei to start speaking anyway as well. Anyway, okay. Anyway, Chong Wei, it's all yours. You can start speaking now. I don't know.
Okay.
All yours.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Hong Yi, for introduction. Before I start, I would like to actually express my gratitude. Can you guys hear me clearly? Yeah, can, right? I just want to express my gratitude to TBN Asia and also our sponsor who sponsor us so that we can present our story in this important event. So let's get started. Teleboard is actually about enabling kids and teens to solve real-world problems through coding. Maybe next slide. So this is actually a picture of mine, a little bit of background. I'm actually a psychology graduate. So studying my master's study in University of Malaysia. And I realized that a lot of my peers who are actually studying psychology with me do not know how to do programming. And I'm a lucky one who know how to do coding and programming. And because of this, I have actually gotten a lot of opportunity, more opportunity compared to my peers, including going to Cambridge universities to study about psychometrics. Next. Before I graduate, actually, I'm very fortunate to be able to participate in this program called Magic Stanford Go-to-Market Program, where I met a lot of people from Southeast Asia. They all come together as one team with the mind of changing the world. So each of them have the idea of how are they going to solve a problem by using business. So I thought that this is actually very fascinating and very new to me because you can actually solve a problem by running a business. So I decided that I also wanted to run my own things. So next. And right after the program, we started to organize events and things. And one of the events that we organized is actually Teleboard Virtual Reality campaign back in 2016. We actually go to the school and showcase the virtual reality technologies to the kids. And then we thought that this is a new technology, they must be really like about it. But without us realizing about this, a lot of schools are still using very old computer to teach about programming, teach about computing. And when we asked the school students and also the school teachers, we realized that most of the school teachers who are teaching programming or computer science as a subject are not from computer science background, they are from mathematics and science teachers. So they are actually lagging behind in terms of a skill set and training in terms of computer science and programming. And one of the problems that we realized here is that people who know how to do programming, they always wanted to get a job in high-paid job in tech companies, something like Grab, Gojek, and Intel. They wouldn't imagine themselves to become a teachers to teach for the young kids. So this is the gap that we are trying to fill. Next slide, please. The reason why we want to fill the gap is because the digital economy is actually booming and Southeast Asia has 400 million of internet users. And there's a lot of emerging new job that is something like data science, full stack engineer, DevOps are coming up. And talent remain a pressing constraint that to capture this digital economy due to lack of computer science education. We think that this is very important to address. Next, please. This is where we are here, our solution. We want to attract individuals who know how to do programming or who are interested to teach programming to join our team and teach for the kids and teens. We focus for students 8 to pre-U universities. There are already 180 schools already participate in us. Every week, we are teaching around 258 students per week. So altogether, this group of students have created tons of digital projects. We have actually collected more than 5,000 digital projects. And because of COVID-19, we actually transformed from offline to online to hybrid model in our teachings. And we are a size of company 10 full-timers, 5 interns, and also have 4 CS Guru, which is the industry experts who teaching computer science with us during their part-time basis. Next. And our model has been recognized by partners. We work with a lot of partners, and then we have been featured with a lot of medias and also work with a lot of schools. And one of the most interesting story is that Darren Coy, who are studying who previously studied in Penang, who studied with us and learned about programming and won a World Skill Malaysia Championship. And currently, because of this, he's being offered to transfer his high school to Singapore and US to study about maths and computing. So we feel like, oh, this is actually very empowering for young kids to be able to expose to this kind of subjects. Next. Okay, and our model has also been getting recognition from Magic Accelerator Global Program. It's actually a startup program. We got into it and we graduated from it. And more recently, we also got into the Alibaba Entrepreneur Training online course in Malaysia. Yeah, next. And I have been talking a lot about our achievement and story, but you might wondering what is actually the product and service that we are actually providing. Actually, our product is very simple. We call it as a Telebot weekly call programs, where they consist of program A until program G. We have covered the range from foundation of creative computing to mobile apps to full stack web development and data scientists. So students will come to our center to learn every single week, and each of the program consists of 6-month duration, which is 24 lessons. So they are learning programming at a very young age to create their own mobile apps and also their website. Yeah, next, please. Because of this model, we actually got a lot of good traction here. We created this as a sustainable business model. As you can see, we started in 2017 all the way to now, and our revenue has been picking up, and also the cost and also the number of people who are interested in us also getting more and more. And we also do our best to support students who cannot afford. For example, in year 2020, as you can see, the number of paying of students is around 212, but we actually run the workshop for 487 students. Just the example, so to reach out for those students who cannot afford to pay for the weekly classes. Yeah, we do it additionally. Next, please. And doing this is not just enough. This is the data that we analyze from the register of interest form. We realized that currently we have 258 students, but there are already 1,739 students who are waiting for us to join this program. So as you can see, the needs of computer science education is very huge in this market, and we don't want people to be left behind for this opportunity. Next. So one of the model that we have figured it out to scale our courses is actually through e-learning. As you can see, the red color here is actually our production. You can see video production that facilitate understanding for each chapter is getting more and more throughout the years. And when we found that actually we can record the lesson before the class and then distribute to students, and it become more effective because students can watch back again. And using this video, we can actually ship to and distribute to more students. Next. Because of identify the model of scaling up and also the readiness of the content, we are here to actually seek for investment to raise some money to actually scale from 250 students to teaching 750 students per year actually. So this is our first target that we wanted to achieve currently. Next.
Oh, wait, you got roughly around a minute left, huh?
Oh, sure. With this money, we can invest in our technology to scale. Maybe next. Invest in e-learning and hire a group of people who are passionate to teach for computer science during a weekend basis. Next. So this is actually our roadmap. We are trying to scale from 250 students to 15,000 students per month by 2025. Next. And this is actually a picture of my first computer back in 1919. All I want to say is actually having early access to computer is very important, and especially coding nowadays. And thank you so much for having me here to present our story to all of you. Yeah, that's all from my side. Yeah.
Okay, Chongwei, maybe I should ask one question and then you can, I think it was an important one. Are your program only open to your people in the country, or is open to anyone since this is COVID season, right?
Yeah, actually it's open across the border. We have students from Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia joining us during weekends. So they are actually joining our program because they don't have this kind of program in their country. So they are actually joining us in this program. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you cater to a borderless world.
Borderless world,
right?
yeah.
Okay, good.
Focusing
Well
in Southeast Asia. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, do you have your contact details? If not, please put it into the chat.
Yeah,
so
sure.
People will be able to follow up with you as well. Okay,
Thank
great.
you, Hong Yi.
Thank you, Chong Wei. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we are supposed to go to is it ready already? Is Umi ready? Yeah. Okay, good. We are using our flexibility to try to use app within an app to try to get her as well. So you can see it's going to be a bit interesting as we pilot the session. So I pass the time to so many echo. Okay, to whoever is going to do the magic show to show us what is it like.
Umi, go. Umi, can you go? Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the very bad connection because I'm staying in Singapore and Chinese connected people, but
Sorry. I think it's very challenging. I think what happened is this: one of you're using a phone to pick up the computer, so the phone volume should be 0, and the computer mic should be off. That will prevent feedback. Mic for laptop should be off. Otherwise, we will have feedback.
okay, Umi, can you try again?
Much
now
better.
I cannot hear the audience at all. Wait. I need your feedback though. Sorry, people. I can hear you, but there's the feedback. Sorry, people, audio issue. Hello, everyone. Okay, I will just repeat what she said.
Has the laptop microphone been off, Ray? Laptop microphone needs to be off. Okay, once it's off, we can try it one more time. So you unmute yours.
Sorry.
Okay, let's try it again.
Okay, I will just repeat what she says. Okay.
No, try it now. If the laptop microphone is off, you can try again. You shouldn't have the feedback now.
Yeah. Sorry, people, hang on. This is the last one. Okay. I'm putting in my earpiece. Umi says hello.
That's not helping.
Umi says she can hear everyone, including Hongyi.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But
I will just repeat what Umi says, okay? So this slide will take a long time, so bear with me.
Okay, we will try this approach then.
She says she's so tall. Sorry, we have to do this. Is this the best way of communication? This is Umi's question. But let's just proceed with it. I will just repeat what you say. Forward the slide. This is how she started the school in 1998, when there was this economic crisis in Indonesia. So there are now 15,000 students from early childhood to university level. Free tuition, health, accommodation, and meals. They are now staying with you at your 25 hectares of land and 11 hectares of fish pond. We have this tagline, free and quality education, supported by social entrepreneurship. Okay, next slide, please. So for us to survive, because we have no donations and no school fees, alhamdulillah. So we focus on our basic needs.
These are our basic human needs, the three. You can see from the diagram here. This is very important to be able to be independent and sustainable. We focus in fuel, in food, in fuel, which stands for food, energy, water, and waste. And our energy is renewable energy or green energy. So we have a bread factory, bread. We produce 15,000 breads every day. And we have rice mills. We have rice farms, coffee, all that to be independent and sustainable. Okay, move to the next slide. This is my food business and industry. So all the students who have graduated from their honors degree, they will go into my social enterprises, UMI's social enterprises. And this is the noodles factory. We produce dry and wet noodles. And we also produce the green coffee beans, as well as the usual coffee. Sorry, Umi's face is stuck. Umi. Waiting for Umi to recover. Hello, Umi. Ah, yes, now I got you. Tahu and Tempeh factory. Fermented black garlic. The fermented black garlic is a partnership with a Japanese company to produce high quality, and also we receive machines and engineers to teach us on how to produce the best black fermented garlic. This is our training programs for Islamic boarding schools all over West Java. We teach students from Islamic boarding schools how to produce, how to bake pizza, bread, fried chicken, so that they can have their own business. Small, medium enterprise. Next slide. This is our renewable energy business. We have biogas and pyrolysis. And the number 2, you can see the machine for the used cooking oil to produce biodiesel. Because we have a lot of electricity breakdowns, so we need the biodiesel for our generators. Okay, this is our water business. We produce drinkable tap water for community. We work with the Japanese company also. And we set up businesses in Islamic boarding school all over Indonesia, sponsored by the Bank of Indonesia. We also have drinking water bottle factory, and we produce our own bottles also. Next is the waste business. So in my school, there is no waste, but cash. So no trash, but cash. So everything is converted to rupiah, to money. So we recycle organic and non-organic waste. Next. Okay. I think this is going to be very tiring. I'm sure everybody has watched my video. This is an interface collaboration of how we become independent and sustainable. Thank you so much. Take care. Okay, bye-bye. No, hang on, Umi. Back to you, Hongi.
Yeah. So I was mindful of time that I gave her actually 15 minutes with all the translation and everything. So we will see whether there's any question for the rest. But maybe I ask Umi the first question first, as per normal, right? I always ask the first question. Umi, what are you most proud of after all these years?
Umi, what are you most proud of after all these years?
Being an entrepreneur, making a difference, all these sort of things.
I'm proud that it's almost 11 years that my husband left me. He passed away. And I'm still being able to feed and provide free education for more than 15,000 children.
Very good.
Very
okay,
good.
So for the rest, any questions you want to ask Umi? But in the meantime, can my tech support goes to the contact details so that at least people will know, how they can contact her, right? Oops, there's no details. Umi, I need your contact details. If not, how do people going to get to you?
How about this? Later, Umi WhatsApp to me, then I post in the chat.
Sure, she can. But Umi, there's a question from Melissa. She is asking, what are you asking? What do you need? I know you wrote down there one third, in the previous. What do you actually need, from the audience here?
Umi is asking what do you need from the audience?
Hey, not me. There's a chat that somebody is asking. I just paraphrasing.
I want more partnership like the ones that we have with the Japanese companies. I need buyers and off-takers for my 59 business units. And now, Alhamdulillah, I'm in charge of holding economic and business for Islamic boarding schools all over Indonesia. So if anybody want to buy anything or want to produce anything, just contact me. Contact Umi.
Okay, very good. Any more questions? If not, okay, I will say again, Umi will be passing us the contacts, and then if any of you want to get in contact with her, contact us in TBN Asia, and we will put you in contact with her. I think that's the more important things as well. And I think we are trying to be as resilient as her too, trying to make sure that she's able to share as much as she can based on the great work she is doing. Thank you, Umi. Okay, thank you, everyone. We have come to the end of the session today, and literally the session, because not only my section, but also the session for Impact Cafe. This is room 1. Room 2 has already officially ended. We are in room 1. There's one more thing that we would like to ask of you, and my tech support, David, will show the slide. It's basically a survey, and the survey details we'll be putting in the chat. So can we ask you or request you to complete, the survey is out now, sorry, that's very fast. And please answer the questions, and then...
Can you WhatsApp me sorry.
Yeah, can you answer the questions? And then, and I say goodbye to you, unless we have some other instructions from the rest. Is there any other things from the rest, or any other comments or questions for us? Yes, we are getting Umi detail to you all too. Yeah. In the meantime, you all can do the poll.
In the meantime, while I'm waiting for Umi's contact, I would also like to share again the earlier call to actions from the different SEs that we had earlier. So I will just say their names again. So the first speaker that we had earlier was Setara, and their request was, Setara is looking for government relation distribution channels to farmers in Indonesia. And then the second speaker was Langgit. So Langgit is looking for partnership with food manufacturers, business development advisors, and corporate companies to build a better supply chain for their rural farmers. And then Geraldine from Straw Innovation says they are looking for a loan up to 100,000 USD, which will be used in purchasing truck and rice dryer to kickstart their commercialization and reach more rice farmers. Next was Seedling. They're looking for engineering advisor for feed manufacturing, a part-time CFO, and also looking for marketing and social media interns. And they are actually having an upcoming investor seed round in Q4. And then it was Iwake, who is looking for land or pond owner in Indonesia and project investor. And they wish to collaborate with another aquaculture company for technology implementation. Then it was Gigi from WeCare.id, who is looking to partner with brands, companies, and individuals who seek to co-create a donation or crowdfunding activation in Indonesia and also last mile donation distribution program. Healthcare related campaign and program is preferred. Then we had Francis from LifePool, who had the mosquito repellent, and they are looking for social entrepreneurs, ecosystem partners, and investors for their mosquito repellent solution. You can download their COVID-19 treatment at their website. And Michelle from I'm So Inc. is a social enterprise that taps on the power of music and technology to give hope, energize, and connect people and communities for health and happiness, which is in the form of mental, physical, emotional, and social. They are looking for active investors for digitization and AI, training and CSR partners, as well as music ambassadors. And then SG Assist is seeking investment to expand their dedicated core team for the business. They want to develop the full capabilities of the call center platform and scale up business development and marketing efforts in order to catch the current wave of interest and keep up the momentum. So their contacts were earlier posted, but also in the poll, you can indicate that you wish to connect to them. Thank you very much for your attention. Yes, I got Umi's contact details now. Let me share it in the where's the chat? Hang on. Okay, got it. Yes, so I've just put her contacts into the chat. Hongi, over to you.
Sorry, I just realized that, because of Zoom, I forgot to unmute and unmask my face. So I've no more comments, no more questions. I thank you very much. Thank you everyone for your time and the things as well. If you have indicated that you would like us to contact you back or get back to you, we will have noted that as well. Thank you very much for your time. See you all. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nakia. I hope you got the Umi's contact already. You managed to copy it, Nakia? Nakia, you're on. You did. Okay, great. Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care.
So we're going to close in 5, 4, 3,
3, 2,
1.
Bye-bye.